Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, February 8th, 8:46 a.m., and I am not tired. Everyone in the comments for the past couple of, hours really has been these comments, my YouTube comments, like, oh, Amit, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? You were streaming for 9 hours yesterday. Aren't you tired? Isn't your voice tired? Technically, yeah, I guess I'm tired, and you can probably hear it in my voice. But this is what I've been waiting for. This is what a lot of people have been waiting for. This is the moment. This is why it's exciting. This is why it's interesting. This is not the time to get tired. You don't get to the playoffs. You don't get to semis. You don't get to the finals, and then you get tired. Tired doesn't exist. You drink some water, take a little break in terms of, take 2 minutes, watch some TikTok videos, then you get right back into it. That's it. So, no, I am not tired. I am ready to go. I am more than excited. I woke up with more energy than I could ever possibly imagine because this is what I've been waiting for. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for this moment. And when the moment comes, then you don't shy away from the moment. I mean, if you want the moment, you don't get scared when the moment is here. And guess what, folks? The moment is indeed here. Now, we might get a pullback. We might see, the stock decline a little bit. Obviously, 40% in 2 days is a lot. But Palantir in the pre-markets has hit $24. Currently, right now in the pre-markets, we are at $23.83. Maybe 24 in the pre-markets was the top, and maybe people take a break. Maybe that's a lot of sell-side pressure that comes in, a lot of limit sells that come in, or maybe Palantir pushes through that. This is why today's market open is going to be pretty exciting, and we're going to see kind of what ends up happening over the next couple of hours. Because Palantir at 23.85, if it makes the move that it needs to make, it's going to crush through 24. And if it goes to the downside, then we're going to obviously see there's going to be a localized top that was put in. But in general, this is exciting. This is fun. This is a good moment. I am not tired at all. I woke up with a ton of energy last night. I just, after we did the Finance Junkie stream, so last night we did 10 hours of streaming. For those that didn't see it, we did 9 hours of streaming on my channel. And then I did take a little break. Even though that break involved calling a bunch of people because I had to talk about a bunch of things. And after that break, we got on Finance Junkies. We did that from 9 to 10. And then I went to sleep by around 12. I woke up at 7, and I feel more refreshed than ever. So there you go. 9 hours and 21 minutes yesterday on the stream. This was a great comment by Zags Elite. He said, my boss came in to ask why I haven't responded to emails all day, and I told him to watch his damn mouth. Amit's been live since market open, and that means that Palantir has been going up. So super, super excited. Thank you all for being here from the bottom of my heart. This is the most fulfilling thing to do. The fact that there's an entire community of people here that want to see this happen, that want to enjoy the moment, and that are excited to be part of this community. This is what we wait for. This is not the time to shy down. This is not the time to say, hey guys, I'm taking a break. This is the time to enjoy life if this is what you want to do. So we are here. And the fun part is, we'll see whatever happens to the stock. But the really fun part is, this journey of Palantir is just beginning. Regardless of what happens to the stock, we are just beginning in terms of where Palantir can go over the next 5-6 years. So super, super excited to be here. Alan, Matt, Biconic, Top Dasher, Dax, Jay Schwatch, Victor, Kim, Dragos, I Show Sad, Mr. Seymour, Duck, Brad, Brandon, Monty, Richard, Ramu, Kevin, Leza, Jeremy, Kim, Eric, Tony, Kane, Drew, Param, Shintoki, Persian Prince, Noodler, Dale, Broccoli Bob, Pedro. Thank you all for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Pedro says, sorry, I missed the last part of your live stream yesterday, but I was online for about 6 or 7 hours. Pedro, how could you? How could you miss the last 3 hours if you were there for the 6-7 hours? I can't believe it. You've betrayed me. You've betrayed me. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Pedro, for being here. Dexter, Brandon, Thomas. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we got to talk about Palantir. We got a new AIP deal for Palantir in the energy sector, which is an insane AIP deal that we have to discuss. Then we got to talk about PayPal. And obviously the reason we got to talk about PayPal is because they are down 7% in the pre-markets. I do not think that the PayPal crash is warranted. I think it's really stupid right now. Personally, I'm not selling any of my PayPal. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what the market's doing. The call was horrible. The quarter was phenomenal in terms of they're doing $5 billion in buybacks. Their transaction margins went up. So to me, PayPal's not that big of a concern. And then we got to talk about ARM that's up 25%. That feels like a bubble. Disney's up 7%. Congrats to Disney, but I don't think their new partnership with Epic Games is that exciting to me, but the market did like it. And then we got to talk about a couple other stocks yesterday that had earnings. Now, Before we get into all of that, I not only streamed for 9 hours yesterday. When you end up streaming for 9 hours, you end up having some moments during those streams. And those moments in the stream ended up making me, I guess, famous to an extent. Folks, I have made the front page of Wall Street Bets, which is a Reddit community of 15 million people that highlight crazy stuff that happens in the stock market. And I made the front page. How did I make the front page? Well, this was the reaction I had with my good friend Adam yesterday when PayPal went up 10% in the first 10 seconds of its earnings, and then PayPal ended up not going up 10%. So for those that missed it, I think this is like, if you've been part of the channel, you've been part of the community, this is just one of the most epic things that has ever happened. We try to make these live streams fun and entertaining, and the fact that it made Wall Street Bets, I don't know, that's pretty cool. So here's what happened if you missed it. I would cover your ears a little bit.
No, 3%.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
It's popping.
Holy crap.
4%. 5%.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. 6%.
6%.
Holy crap. We broke it. Oh, it's 67. I'm trying to get the numbers.
7.5%.
Let's fucking go.
No, that green candle is gonna go pop up right now, bro. 8.5%. 8.5%.
What did they announce?
9%.
I'm trying to get this great. They had to announce something, dude.
9.3%.
Not
9.5%. 10%.
10%.
10%.
Okay, so we got Andrew. They beat revenue by about 40 million. Okay, so we got that number. Okay, here we go. They beat EPS by about 15 cents. I got it. They beat revenue by about 130 million. So there you go. You got to beat on the EPS and you got to beat on the revenue. You got to beat on the EPS. You got to beat on the revenue. And then the guidance numbers should be coming in very soon, and then the street will be able to react to that as well. Oh, we got to ring the bell for this, Adam.
Bro, it's going back down. Now it's even. People are not liking it. Now it's down.
Now,
down.
This is the sad part.
Down. What the fuck? Down 5%?
How the fuck is this happening?
Bro, I have no idea.
You know the Joker? Bro. You know the Joker in The Dark Knight where he just starts laughing and then Batman keeps punching him and he keeps punching him and he just keeps laughing because all you can do is laugh?
Bro.
Okay. Dude, that was crazy. It's true. It's like the Joker in Dark Knight where he keeps getting punched and you just start laughing. They gave us 10% on the day, and 10% is a lot for earnings, but forget the 10%. It was just the fact that, okay, like PayPal's actually like there's a real value here, right? Like the market finally recognizes it, blah, 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 blah. And then they took it away so quickly. And that's what reminds you to be humble in the stock market. It's like when Palantir fell to 6, and you had to live with that for 12 months. And now Palantir's at 24. Like you got to be humble, but you also got to remember things can come to the upside. But in that short moment, it can be tough, but it does make for an epic reaction. So people have been asking me, what are my thoughts on going first page on Wall Street Bets? First of all, I never thought that would happen. And I didn't even know someone posted it on Wall Street Bets, but this is the internet. So when something's out on the internet, it just goes and proliferates. But second of all, I love it, dude. Like I have, obviously, you guys know I'm trying to go all in on media, trying to go all in on YouTube, all in on content. This to me, I mean, like a lot of people discovered who I was yesterday off of a funny reaction. And the other thing about this is, and this is the really like ironic part, this is not reacting to GameStop or AMC going up. And you're like, oh my God, 10% GameStop. It's like those companies were literal memes. And that's why, it seems so degenerate to be like, it's up 30%. It's like, dude, it's literally, it doesn't deserve any of that gains, right? Like now GameStop ended up going up, 20x or whatever, but it didn't matter. That's why it was degenerate. Being excited about a dinosaur payments company that's at 2017 levels being up 10%, I think is very warranted because it's priced for death right now. They're having an entire reworking of the company. They're a cash flow machine, $4 billion in free cash flow. Like there's so many metrics you can name about this company that are so like Warren Buffett would be proud of. And that's why you're excited it's going up 10%. So to me, it's not degenerate. It's just genuine excitement. And then obviously there's a little flair of trying to make the show fun. But it was a cool moment seeing that happen versus, being super sad about it. Now, I was upset that it ends up falling, but it's part of the game, and I think PayPal will end up recovering. We'll talk more about that later. All right, so the funniest comment on Wall Street Bets was, so ringing the cowbell doesn't lock in the gains. Dude, you guys and this cowbell officially like made it into the mainstream of the financial media sector. Like, you guys know about the cowbell, but the majority of the world doesn't. And there were so many comments about the cowbell. It was just hilarious. It's like all the comments you guys make about the cowbell, the rest of the world ended up being exposed to it. All right, let's get into Palantir. We got to talk about them. We have a new partnership on Palantir, and this partnership is pretty exciting. It's actually why I think the stock pumped a little bit in the pre-markets, and we'll see where the market takes it from there. But let's pull it up. So we got a healthcare partnership in the beginning of the year. We got a supply chain partnership in the beginning of the year with Kohl's and then Option Care Health. Now we have an energy partnership. Palantir Bapco Energies enter into a strategic partnership to support Bahrain's energy production. Why is this partnership so important? Well, the reason for this is because this company in Bahrain is a semi-independent agency with the Ministry of Oil and Gas. They have 10 billion in assets. They did 3 billion in revenue, and they did 1.2 billion in profits. It's a very big deal. And when you think about energy, obviously energy is incredibly important, right? The whole world needs energy, just like the whole world needs healthcare, just like the whole world needs supply chains. Like, these three industries are incredibly, I would say, integral to the very fabric of our society operating. You need energy, you need to be taken care of, and you need your goods to get from one place to another. So the fact that Palantir is, really starting to get into these verticals, and they've always been in these verticals, but now these deals are scaling, is super, super exciting. Let's read a little bit off of this. Palantir's Foundry and AIP platform will be deployed in a 3-year agreement to help Bapco Upstream maximize its return on investment on energy production in the country and support its mission to connect the energy infrastructure of the Kingdom of Bahrain in an unprecedented way. Using data and AI is a key part of the Kingdom of Bahrain's strategy to deliver on its commitment by reducing carbon emissions. We are honored to be selected by Bapco Energies to bring our platforms and expertise in the sector of Bahrain, particularly as well as they pursue their ambition to provide a secure energy transition and advance on the energy goals. This is a commercial international partnership, which is also very, very exciting to see that this is happening as well. Now, on energy, let me read what their CEO said. We are thrilled to announce our strategic partnership with Palantir. The collaboration marks a pivotal moment for Bapco Upstream as it aligns seamlessly with our commitment to innovation and business excellence. We are poised to unlock new possibilities in our upstream operations by delivering value and driving efficiency throughout the organization. Karp said Bapco Energies is positioning itself at the forefront of the AI revolution in energy production. We are proud of this partnership, which will enable Bapco Upstream to boost output, improve efficiency, and meet Bahrain's energy goals. This is a big, big deal. And the reason this is a very, very big deal is because not only is it a new AIP deal, but it's a commercial partnership internationally in a sector that I don't think Palantir has really been exposed to. I think we have, like, I'm blanking on it, but I think there is some exposure to Bahrain specifically. And I feel like that because they had a PR a very long time ago. I could be wrong about that. But we don't work in that region, right? It's usually North American deals, some Asia deals, Canada deals. This is exciting to be in Bahrain, right? And work with them. And so that's why I think it's very important that we got this deal. It's another deal on top of AIP, and on top of government. So after earnings, after 70% U.S. commercial growth, we got a government deal for $650 million. That's going to be split a bunch of people for the U.S. GSA, the General Services Administration. We get a new energy deal. And in the beginning of the year, we got 2 big healthcare partnerships, one with a company that's obviously, public, at Option Care Health. And then a day before earnings, we get the Kohl's partnership, which is 850 supermarkets in Australia. That's a big deal. And I think that's very, very exciting for Palantir to be able to launch those deals, get those deals. And if they can just build on the momentum, it's going to get even more exciting. Now, on top of me covering Palantir with my media coverage, we have a new article by Time. I'm not going to go through the entire article right now, but the article is called How Tech Giants Turned Ukraine into an AI War Lab. And this was published today, February 8th. If I Command F Palantir, there is a lot of Palantir in this article. We're getting to the point where the media coverage itself, it's still going, the Command F on Palantir, 40 mentions of them, is going to compound on their name. One more thing I want to show you guys about media coverage. Jason Calacanis, if you guys watch the All In podcast, he's the host of that podcast, famous venture capitalist. He actually seeded Robinhood. He met Vlad in a bar and gave Robinhood their first $25,000 back in 2013. Robinhood now is worth many, many billions. He also seed invested in Uber, first 25,000 check. He reposted Alex Karp talking about the earnings call. He said, based Karp, American exceptionalism forever. This is the really, really, really exciting stuff. And that's why it's super, super, super important to see what's going on with Palantir and, how exciting it's getting in terms of all the different media coverage that's coming up. So we're seeing a ton of media coverage on Palantir. Jason Calacanis mentioning them. Obviously, Time Magazine mentioning them. It's just compounding in terms of the media growth. And that compounding of media growth is becoming super, super good for Palantir. Palantir stock right now, $23.82. Here's my raw thoughts. I think we can break through 24 bucks. I think it's possible today. Now, I think it's going to need a decent amount of volume. Right now, the volume is at 1.81 million. It's actually much smaller than the volume we've had the past 2 days. Yesterday, I think we ended at close to 270 million. And the day before that, we ended at 421 million. For Palantir to repeat a 30% day and then a 10% day with, it would only need to go up like 2% to get to 24 bucks. But if it gets to 24, I don't think it's really stopping unless there's a massive sell order there from the street. But for them to put up another 3, 4, 5% day, it's just not going to be easy, dude. That's almost 45% in 3 days. And I don't think that's easy. So my gut is telling me we're probably going to see a little bit of a retracement, but my heart is telling me that there's enough FOMO to want Palantir to get to that 24 level. So it's going to be a very exciting market open in 27 minutes. We're going to end up seeing what happens, but I think there's a chance for it to get there. So we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. And in general, the media coverage has been absolutely phenomenal on Palantir, and they deserve it. They deserve it. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, we did have some insider selling yesterday on Palantir. We had Alex Karp sell about 975,000 shares. We had Ryan Taylor, I think, sold 120,000 shares. And then Stephen Cohen, I believe, 360,000 shares. Now, these shares that have been sold were under the 10b5-1 Act, which means they were pre-scheduled. So this was not like December 2023, where Karp sold like basically 500,000 shares at 21.85 just because he wanted to sell those shares. These were pre-scheduled. So really not a big deal. Obviously, these sales happen all the time, and if they're pre-scheduled, the stock could have been $13, and he would have had to sell 970,000 shares. He sold them at about $21.84, or the stock could have been $50, and he would have had to still sell these 975,000 shares. Alex Karp still owns about 60 million shares, if I'm not wrong, Class A, Class B shares. So he owns a lot of the company. Teal owns a lot of the company. Not that big of a deal, but it is one of those scheduled sales that I did want people to know about. Okay, cool. So Confluent is up today. Yes, Jay Schwash, I know you're excited about Confluent. Well, let's talk about a bunch of other stocks, and then we'll get to Palantir as we get into the market open. That's the main news. For those that missed it yesterday, Palantir went up about 8%. 23.50 we ended on the day. Right now, we're going to see if we can get to 24. We got a new Bahrain energy partnership with AIP. Jason Calacanis mentioned Palantir yesterday night on Twitter. Time Magazine just put out an entire 21-minute article that it takes to read, mentioning Palantir 40 times, dedicated to Palantir and their operational efficiency and what they're doing with AI in Ukraine. And I went viral on Wall Street Bets. So that is what has happened in the past 24 hours. And we are back, and we are still streaming because the show has to go on, and we are not stopping. All right, PayPal. Let's move on to PayPal. We'll get back to Palantir as we get closer to the market open. The PayPal thoughts I have. The PayPal sell-off is absolutely stupid. It makes no sense to me. The numbers we got were phenomenal. Alex Chris needs to get a coach. Maybe he can hire me. I'll charge very little, just $10,000 an hour to coach him on how to speak and actually sound inspired about his company now that he's the new CEO. But they didn't hire me. And because they didn't hire me, obviously, they ended up speaking really bad. The problem with the PayPal earnings call, and I was listening to it yesterday. If you were there with me on the live stream, you were hearing it. You were seeing my reaction as well, is that Alex Chris is an operator. He took Intuit stock up 20x over the course of 19 years. He wasn't just an engineer. He wasn't just a mid-level employee. He was one of the VPs of QuickBooks. Really, he was in charge of 8,000 employees managing small businesses. So this is not like a small guy who played a small role in terms of Intuit. The reason he was chosen to help PayPal is because he played a massive role in helping that company become the company that they became. Now, the problem is he doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't know how to sound inspiring. He doesn't know how to just really kind of, how do I say this? He doesn't know how to tell Wall Street he has a big cock. Okay. And what Wall Street needed to know yesterday is, does Alex Chriss have a big cock? And what he needed to say is, you guys think we have a small one, and that's why you're pricing the stock back at 2017. Well, guess what? Maybe the old CEO had one, but I don't have a small one. Okay. And he needed to drop it on the fucking desk at that conference call and basically show these guys, you have no idea what you're missing out on. And you're going to get effed if you don't really understand that this stock is not supposed to be at this level. That is the energy Alex Chriss needed to have. And unfortunately, Alex Chriss did not have that energy. He just did not have that energy. I'm sorry for my French, but that was the energy you needed when your stock is down at 2017 levels. And unfortunately, he did not have that energy. Now, in terms of the actual numbers, the numbers were phenomenal. Okay, the numbers were better than phenomenal. I mean, these numbers, they blew past all of my expectations, and they definitely blew past the expectations I think that other investors have and able to actually show. Why is that the case? Well, they are doing $5 billion in buybacks. $5 billion in buybacks is basically 7% of the company. I mean, at some point, Wall Street has to realize, okay, if the company's buying back 7% of their shares, we should maybe take them a little bit more seriously. Maybe that tangible book value is going to go up. They beat revenue estimates. The street thought they would grow by like 7.5%. They increased by 9%, $8 billion a year. By the way, and if you do a DCF model, Wall Street is pricing in 0% growth for 2023. For the next 10 years, Wall Street thinks they're not going to grow. And if you do it like a basic discounted cash flow model, that's how you get to $55. Right now it's at 58. So, Wall Street is literally pricing in 0% growth on the top line revenue and 0% growth on free cash flow. If you price in $4.4 billion in free cash flow for the next 10 years, you get to a $55 share price. Where are we at? $55. Do we think we're not going to grow revenue or free cash flow for the next 10 years? No, which means that's the deep value play of PayPal. If you've been confused for the past 6 months why people are screaming about PayPal, it's because if you just grow a little bit, it is so undervalued. There is upside to this company, and there's not many opportunities in the market which this ends up happening for. But it's happening for PayPal. The problem is Alex Chriss didn't know how to get these people excited. Transaction volumes went up. Active transactions per account went up 14%. Payment transactions increased 13% to 6.8 billion. And then the only other problem I would say with the earnings call is that active accounts decreased 2%. Now, this was a bad metric, but this is a metric that could have easily been explained during the earnings call about why this happened. And I mean, look, I think there was some stuff in Latin America. That's why they had some, bad accounts, and that ended up going down. The transactions per account ended up going up. So to me, they have more engaged users, even if they don't have as many users, which is ultimately what influences the bottom line. PayPal makes money off transaction margins. So when people use it, they make money. If one person's using it 100 times a day versus 10 people that never use it, just because those 10 people are users, maybe they've logged in once, but they never use it, you'd rather have the one person. Now, PayPal is a global company. They need to grow the top line and the engagement. But if one is declining and one is going up, as long as both aren't going down, it's not the biggest red flag in the world, especially if they're in an execution phase and they're trying to transition this year. Alex Chriss needed to explain that. Alex Chriss sounded like he was scared of Wall Street. He sounded like he was just this puppet by the hedge funds that was put in there, and he can't say anything that's wrong. He sounded like he was so, I guess scared is the best word. And to me, I'm like, what do you have to lose? Like, the stock's at 2017 levels. Make a joke, take a risk, acknowledge that Wall Street has tanked the stock. Like, I would have gotten up on the earnings call and be like, look, we know that you guys think we're a dead company. We know you guys think we're a dinosaur, but it took the dinosaurs 65 million years before they went extinct. And mother effer, we're Tyrannosaurus Rex, and we've got a long time before anything happens to us, before that meteor comes down. I would really try to make a statement on this earnings call and just acknowledge the fact that Wall Street has left us for dead, but Wall Street is freaking wrong. And I would just say that they're wrong. Just like Alex Karp says, you analysts are stupid. Almost explicitly, he says that. And Alex Chris's earnings calls made me acknowledge and appreciate my love for Alex Karp and Anthony Noto so much more, because Karp and Anthony Noto really, Karp is more, eccentric. Noto is a little bit more tailored, but they both have their own style that gives you confidence. Palantir 2392 in the pre-markets, they give you confidence. And at this stage, you need confidence when a stock is down at 2017 levels. When Palantir was $6, did Karp's confidence change? I think all 1,000 people here in the chat would say nope. His confidence was as good as ever, right? Because we all knew that, like, at the end of the day, he thinks they're the best company in the world, and he doesn't care what the stock price is. He cares about eventually what the business will end up doing, and the stock price will reflect that. Alex Kritz does not feel the same. So my overall thoughts on PayPal is I think it'll probably tank today a little bit more, but I would be not surprised at all if this bad boy gets back to $65 within a couple weeks. Those are my thoughts. That's how I feel about it. The street is down 8% right now because they just think it's left for dead, and maybe it's going to need 6 months of execution. But this is not a company that's supposed to be worth at this level. Everyone knows it's undervalued. Alex Kritz just had to acknowledge the undervaluing and then make the point that, hey, we're going to actually win. And he didn't make it seem like we're going to win. And that's the problem. And so that's the issue with PayPal. I think they're going to be okay. I'm not selling. Now, if by July the stock's still stuck at 55, then it's one of the worst opportunity costs I've had for the past year, and I'll deal with that. But I don't think by the summer, after another earnings, the street keeps at this level after they continue doing buybacks. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think selling on this earnings is not the right move. It could have been a worse earnings for this to happen. This is not the earnings, to me, in my opinion, that it would require really selling. Karp literally hammered the table and said, attack, that's my type of CEO. Yeah, and I remember there were so many people that were upset about that. So many people are like, what type of CEO bangs on the table when an analyst asks him a question? Why can't he just answer it? I'm like, a CEO that cares, that actually has, that actually gives a crap. Like, someone who actually gives a crap is what matters. And when someone actually gives a crap, that's the most important thing in the world. And because he cares, that's what matters. And I want someone who cares at the end. Give me all the bad news in the world, but let me see that you care. As long as I know that you care, that's what makes me feel like I can trust you. Okay. So one other thing about PayPal real quick that I just want to say, I have a friend who was really anti-PayPal on Twitter over the past couple of weeks. And he just told me, I mean, you can agree or disagree, but he just told me he's selling Palantir. He sold some Palantir already and he's going to buy PayPal today. And when I said why, he said, I was bearish on PayPal, but I changed my mind now that I learned they have $6 billion in net cash. And that $6 billion in net cash is ultimately going to allow them to increase their interest revenues. And he's also betting on the jockey, which means the CEO. Now, look, the jockey did not give me a lot of faith yesterday, given that earnings call, but he is an operator. What he did at Intuit cannot be ignored. He's just not the best speaker, which is okay. I get it. Maybe hire a speaking consulting firm. Maybe I need to start a speaking consulting firm for CEOs, dude. Like, maybe because I've seen too many CEOs over the past couple of weeks with these earnings calls just like not be exciting. But outside of that, I think he's an operator. I think it'll be okay. And I think selling PayPal is not that concerning in my opinion. I think he's going to be okay. So that's that on PayPal. One more thing on PayPal. Let me show you guys this. So we had him tweet yesterday, and Kelly ended up tweeting under his tweet, and that actually ended up going a little viral. So Alex Kritz was like, all right, we did our results. And Kelly said, it's got 408 likes. Alex, please don't be afraid to show us a little more energy and enthusiasm. Investors found this very clinical, boring, and uninspiring. We want to feel your passion, excitement, and authenticity. Don't be afraid to talk your talk. And so the fact that got 400 likes means that a lot of people felt that he just was like, it's not just me, right? A lot of people felt he was uninspiring and just not the type of guy they thought he was going to be. And I think he needs to correct that in the next earnings call and needs to come out and quite frankly, show Wall Street that they don't know what they're doing with the stock. And I think if he does that, it's going to be exciting. And that's what Karp did when we were at $7-8. He was just like, you guys don't get it. We're going to be one of the most important software companies in the world. We do things 5 years ahead before everyone else. Like, you guys don't get it, but that's okay. Eventually you will get it. And then you'll buy the stock. And, Karp, the way he said it is just so like, it turns you on. It's just like, damn, this guy believes he's going to be the best and he doesn't care. And there's very few times in your life where you're the best at something. You understand that. The rest of the world basically understands that. But for some reason, they don't necessarily believe it. And at that moment, the delta between them not believing and you knowing, but them kind of deep down in their heart knowing, is when you get to tell them, eventually you're going to know. I already know you know. I definitely know, but you're going to know one day. And then if it ends up happening, you end up looking like the boss. That's what ends up happening. So we'll see if that ends up happening ultimately for PayPal. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin. We haven't really discussed Bitcoin in a while. And the reason we haven't discussed Bitcoin in a while is because Bitcoin has been kind of stuck. Bitcoin has been not really it's been kind of flat. Bitcoin is going up a little bit. So BTC right now is at 45,155. Not bad. We're up 1.47% in this morning. Yesterday we hit 44.5, and so it was nice to see us crack that $45,000 range. Why is this happening? I honestly don't know. Okay, so if I had to like kind of guess, it could be a little bit, and this is probably wrong, but it could be a little bit of a rotation from equities into crypto, because equities are hot right now. We're going to talk about ARM, we'll talk about the S&P, we'll talk about if we're in a bubble, all that stuff, but equities are hot. And if equities are hot, maybe you want to transition your money to something that's a little bit colder. And what's colder? Value stocks. But value stocks are a little if you don't want to get the GEs or the Fords of the world. So maybe you say, hey, let's go into crypto. Crypto hasn't been running that much. Obviously last year it had a great year, but it's been kind of flat since the ETF launch. Maybe we'll dip our toes here. CleanSpark is up 7% in the pre-market. Coinbase is up 4%. MicroStrategy is up 4%. Bitfarms is up 5%. Robinhood is up 1%. Marathon's up 6%. Riot is up 4.59%. Also, by the way, Cathie Wood bought 120,000 shares of Robinhood yesterday. Bitcoin's up 1.4%. Ethereum is up 0.02%. So it'll be an interesting day for the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin in general. If it can build on this momentum and make its way back up to that 46, 47 range, which is what it was at before the ETFs launched, then maybe we're going to see some excitement back in crypto and get people to see a little bit more about what's happening. CleanSpark earnings are after hours today, right? I'm pretty sure they're after hours today. I don't think they're up in the morning because of their earnings. I think they're up because of just crypto going up, or am I wrong? Is it because of earnings? It is because of it's after hours. Okay. After hours. Okay, cool. So CleanSpark's after hours. All right, cool. So that's happening on CleanSpark. All right, cool. So that call's at 4:30. Maybe we'll stream that call in the market close. Maybe we'll stream it. I'd actually really like to listen to what they have to say. So maybe we'll stream it. Okay, so CleanSpark's up 7% right now, $10 in the pre-markets, and we'll see what happens with the crypto companies as we get on later into the day. Okay, let's look at SAS. SAS right now is some of these companies are red. Palantir is $23.91 in the pre-market. Some of these are red, some of these are green. Confluent, this company had earnings yesterday. They are up 27%. Market cap of 7.4 billion. Not really a small cap, but definitely not a large cap. I didn't go through their numbers. We'll pull them up in a bit, but they're up 7%. ARM, another company that had earnings yesterday, they're up 27%. Now, ARM's market cap was 78 billion. After this earnings, I think ARM is going to be closer to 90 billion market cap. ARM is a company that does a lot of chip designs. They have a decent amount of patents. They do a lot of stuff for Apple with their computers. This is a company that's going to do 3.6 billion in revenue. That's basically going to be worth 100 billion when the market opens. I'm sorry, but that kind of feels like it's a little too much. And it feels like it's chasing SMCI. It feels like it's chasing NVIDIA. In 2024, I thought this would be the year of semis, and it seems like that's what's going to end up happening. But the question is, at what point do some of these companies kind of take a breather? SMH is at 197. This is the ETF that Michael Burry was shorting. I don't know if he still has a short, but he bought a decent amount of puts on this one, and he's probably down hundreds of millions at this point if he didn't close those. But this thing is up almost 20% year to date in ETF, not even the stock, in ETF, which is insane. And then you got ARM. It was up 40% at one point. Now it's up 27%. NVIDIA, I don't think is slowing down. I think it's a little red. Yeah, it's down 0.29%. So NVIDIA is still at 700. And then SMCI is at 677 in the pre-markets. So it just feels like some of these AI chip stocks are getting ahead of their demand. They're pulling forward the demand, and the street's rewarding them for it. But the question becomes, at what point does the street say you've been rewarded enough? Now, NVIDIA is going to crush their earnings. We know they're going to crush their earnings. We know they're probably going to crush their guidance. But at what point does the street stop chasing? Because right now it feels from 495 to 550 to 630 to 680 to 700. Someone's chasing, and it doesn't seem like it's a ton of retail. It does seem like there's a little bit more institutional chasing that's happening in these names. Hell, even in Palantir, it feels like there's some institutional chasing in these names. I mean, Cathie bought 2 million shares 2 days ago. Like, she was definitely chasing it at $21. She was like, oh, all right, the company changed. I'm going to buy my shares. And so when we're seeing this happen, to me, it feels like institutions are getting to a point where they don't really know where to put their capital. Fintech is not going to be the obvious play. Value stocks like PayPal are not going to be the obvious play. They don't want to get 5.5 on money market funds that are going to end up going to 5 and then, 4.75 within the next 3 months when we get rate cuts. So they're chasing, and there's still $6 trillion on the sidelines. That's not necessarily leaving. The only thing that stops all of this chasing is a correction. And I don't know if we're getting a correction anytime soon. And I'm not the guy to say that the correction is happening on this date or this date, because no one knows. And it's one of those things where you're kind of just like, all right, I guess I'll wait. The one thing I will say, though, is that no one ever, the same cliche, no one ever went broke taking some profits. When the market's giving you exuberant prices and you have phenomenal, margins of safety in terms of averages, it's okay to take some profits. It's all right. Even if it might feel like it's madness, it's okay. If the market's giving you some exit liquidity, you take the liquidity. This is what I did with SoFi last week. The market said, hey, Amit, someone's willing to buy your call options at 90 cents a call when you bought them for 70 cents a call. I knew they were probably going to be worth 65 cents a call pretty soon, but there was a schmuck, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but there was indeed a schmuck. I've been the schmuck many times, but there was a schmuck on SoFi earnings day that bought it from me thinking that shit would go to, $1 a contract. That didn't end up happening, right? So it's one of those things that I think is important to recognize, that if you've got an opportunity, it's not the worst thing in the world to take that opportunity. Yeah, look, literally those call options that I sold for 90 cents a share, right now they're at 68 cents on SoFi. So not only would I have been down, I would have missed all the gains if I had held it, thinking that SoFi was going to go to 12, 13, 14 bucks, right? So, and SoFi ended up, going from 9 to 7. I don't think it was a SoFi specific thing either, dude. The entire market that week was a little tough, and SoFi is a case study, but any news can happen at any moment that recorrects the trajectory we're on the market. Or the market could just keep going forward. The point is, if you have an opportunity, it's not the worst thing in the world to take advantage of the opportunity. You don't have to sell everything, but it's real money. This is not fake. This is not monopoly money. This is real. The market's willing to give you some of these prices. There are schmucks out there willing to pay it. And maybe you're the schmuck if you're selling it too early, but at least you'll be the schmuck with some profits. It's not the worst thing in the world. So just one of those things to think about. Ian says, Palantir, where's the new floor on resistance? So yesterday, the floor was pretty heavy. The resistance was pretty heavy at 2370, and it was very hard to break through, which is why we ended the day at 2360. Now we're at 2394. And as soon as the market opens in 6 minutes, either we're going to have a massive red candle down, and you're going to see this go down to 2350 again, because the limit sells at 24 just like collapse, the stock collapse, meaning we go down maybe 40, 50 cents. Or we push through, and there is so much demand waiting at 9:30 a.m. that it's just going to bust. And when it busts through, then you've got the Kobe era. We were in the Michael Jordan era for a good day. It was awesome at 23, but maybe we have some Mamba mentality getting into the 24s. Now, market cap is 51 billion of Palantir. Shares outstanding are 2.1 billion. Net income last year was 210 million. And guidance for this year is 2.6 billion. When you say those numbers in a nutshell, obviously it feels like, hey, maybe the street's getting a little ahead of itself. And maybe there's just, maybe they're trying to, this is a lot of FOMO. On the other hand, when you saw a deal like they did today with Bahrain and what they're doing in the energy sector, it just reminds you, this is not a joke. This company is doing real shit. Everyone who said when it was $6 or $7, this company is a joke, it's a meme stock, it's AMC, Carp is crazy, yada, yada, yada. All of those people were wrong. It's just, they were wrong. And now the question becomes, we know they were wrong, but is the valuation enough to support how wrong they were? Because obviously if Palantir was $100 today, I think everyone would agree it's a bit overvalued, right? So the question is, what is the bright line? Is $50 today overvalued? Is $30 today overvalued? Is $19 today undervalued? Is $75 today overvalued? And you can't just be someone who says, well, $100 today is not overvalued, because then you sound like the Tesla people saying, well, it's $1,000 a share is not overvalued, is not undervalued, is undervalued because you're not taking into account the bot. It's like, no, dude, this is Wall Street. There are numbers, there are metrics. The 18 months of pain we went through with Palantir at $6-7 should make us less delusional about the euphoric days, because as euphoric as they are, you cannot go back to being have a degenerate mindset, because we went through so much pain. We saw what happens when a company is flat for that long and the valuations, they just can't make sense to the street. But sometimes when they make sense to the street, they really make sense, and they end up making more sense than it actually does make sense, and the thing ends up going up. So that's my question. I don't have the answer to that question. I'm here along for the ride. I'm enjoying the journey. It's going to be really fun to see what ends up happening. This is a 2030 hold for me. So until 2030, we'll see how this ends up playing out. And I just want to see how far it can go. But I also am reasonable that expecting a pullback here is not insane after a 40% increase in 1 week. And I think everyone here can agree that as well. I have my one share set up to buy. If you're new to the channel, you know that at 23 or at XYZ price .95, .97, .99, we buy a share. So I have that ready to go. I might not need it based on what happens. We'll see. As soon as the market opens, we'll see what price they give me, and we'll buy it if we have to do it. And then we'll see, can we break through 24, and can we hold 24 as well? We're going to buy it open. We have to buy it open. We'll see. Maybe the stock goes to 23.80, right? And then we have to wait to buy it. So we'll buy it right at open. Franz Baker, thank you for the 400 THB super chat. Let's remember the epic stream from yesterday and forget PayPal earnings disaster, which I told you would happen. I love how you do the super chat just to brag. You're just like, hey, by the way, buddy, I told you this would happen. But yeah, epic stream from yesterday. Dude, the stream yesterday was crazy. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty awesome. We had 9 hours of streaming. It was one of those days where you keep it going. Market open in 3 minutes, so we'll get ready for that. But it was just one of those days where it's like, why don't we keep it going? It was at one point, I think 3 hours in, where I was losing a little energy, and I said, guys, I just got to take a piss. Give me 1 second. I took that piss and I came back like a new man. I said, you know what? My bladder is relieved. And so why would I stop? It's one of those things when you have to piss where you can't think right. You can't think right. And I was thinking, oh man, I'm getting a little tired. We've been on for 3 hours. You take a piss and I'm like, 3 hours? It feels like 3 minutes. What's going on? So next time I ever show any sense of being tired, just tell me to go to the old Joe. That's what you call it, right? A Joe. You go to the Joe. That's what they called it in the 90s or something. And take a piss. Go to the pisser, and then we're good. We're good to go, and we'll keep it going. So it'll be fun. I bet him is secretly hoping Palantir doesn't run or have to go again all day. Yo, honestly, okay. So I thought about this morning. Okay, I did the actual. Oh, the John. It's the John, not the Joe. Damn. I wish I said the John, dude, because I would have shown some historical, some life knowledge if I said the John versus the Joe. The Joe is the coffee. The Joe, you drink the Joe and then you go to the John, right? So I ended up messing it up. Okay, so it's the John. It's the John. So I did this analysis this morning in my head. I was like, you know what? If Palantir ends up running today, I'm going to have to be live for longer. If Palantir doesn't end up running today, I can probably, stop the stream within a couple hours. And I came to the conclusion, I'd rather Palantir run, because if we can do 2 days of an epic stream, maybe we don't go 9 hours today, but maybe we go 4 or 5 hours. Who knows? That's still fun. That's epic. This is the time to do it. This is the time when we should be excited. We should not shy away from the moment. The moment is here. We don't know if we get these moments again. I think we will have many of these moments over the next 5 years, which is why I'm really excited for this journey. But I'm here. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm more energized than ever. And thank you all for being here and giving me that energy as well. Thursday, February 8th, 9:30 a.m. The stock market is now open. Ladies and gentlemen, we busted through 24 and then we fell right there. 23. We got to 24.07. Now we're at 23.88. So there was a ton of buy side pressure at 23.90 and it busted through to 24.08. But the red candle was because of all the sell side pressure that ate up those shares. So there were people that got their buys in at 23.94, but there was a bunch of people that ended up selling at those same prices as well. So that's what we saw right now with Palantir price action. We actually got to 24.12. So that was a quick 24.12. And then it went right back down to 23.92. I'm going to do my one share buy right now. I think I should just do it. And we get it from there. We're at 23.96. I'm going to just do it right here. All right, it's done. 23.96, 23.97. The one share got executed at 23.97. 23.97. Let's see if it gets us to 24. We hit 24 again. All right, so the one share did its little nudgy nudge. Now, look at that. We hit 24 and we're at 23.80. Wow. There is so much sell side pressure at 24. Let me go to the book volume and see what's waiting for us at 24. Wow, dude. We hit 24 and then we just crapped right back down to 23.70. Now we're right at 23.94. Book volume looks clean, guys. Book volume looks very clean. There's not a wall at all. We should get past 24 pretty easily. We should. Look at that. There is not I'm not looking at a ton. There's not a big wall. Yesterday, there was 70,000 shares at $23. There's not a lot of shares at 24. There's just a lot of really quick sell orders, but there's not a massive like wall. So if the buys can overcome the sells, then we should be okay. There you go. We keep hitting 24, but there's like a couple people that keep selling at 24, which is why it keeps dropping it down. But there's no reason we don't get past 24, dude. Like it really does look like we can hit 24. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. We should get there. Look at that. Look at it. It's teetering between 23.99 and 23. There's no short squeeze, guys. There's no short squeeze. There's only 5% sold short. There's absolutely no short squeeze. This is the only reason it's going up is because people are willing to buy it. That's it. That's it. Unless, people took a massive short position in the past 2 days, which they're down on. But I don't think that happened after those earnings. That I can say I don't believe that happened. ARM is at $100, up 31%. Bitcoin's at 44,922. PayPal's down 7.7%. That's actually not that bad because it was down that much in the pre-market, so it's not really tanking. Nvidia's at $699. SoFi's up 0.52. Disney's up 9%. Congrats to Disney shareholders. You deserve it. Look at that. We're at 24. It just needs to break through 24. And then the buys need to start happening at 24 versus at 23. Right now, the buys keep happening at 23.90, 23.98, etc. There you go. There we go. We got it. I think we got it. I think we broke it. I think we broke it. I think it's happening. There we go. Up 2% on the day. Yep. It's happening. 24.04. There we go. I think it's happening. I think we're breaking through. I think we're breaking through, man. I think it's going to break. There is no reason for it not to break through this level. There is no reason. They're 24.09. Yep. That should be happening. I'm looking at the buys and sells that absolute 24.18, 24.20. Yes, sir. There we go. Baby. That's the the one share does the one share. It does what it does. It always does the nudgy nudge. 24.12. 24.12. Tesla's down 0.41%. Snapchat's down another 3% after being down 30% yesterday. Enphase is up about 0.5%. Oh, okay, and then we're falling back down to 23.90. There is so much pressure at 24, dude. There is so much pressure. The market's it's like one schmuck arguing with another schmuck at $24 about if it should be 23 or if it should be 24. Nick says lots of partial orders getting filled at 24. That's exactly what's happening as well. Oh boy. Dude, the momentum is there, though. The momentum is there to keep it going, in my opinion. Like, a pullback is probably what's going to happen, but the momentum is there for enough people that want the stock. 14 million shares have been traded in 4 minutes, guys. 14 million shares. Palantir now, year to date, is up 42%. That's like a SMCI NVIDIA number kind of type of, Okay, the wall on 25. Let me check. At $25, there's honestly, I thought this would be more. There's only 61,000 shares waiting to be sold at 25,000 at $25. Dude, that's not like dare I say we could get to 25. If we break through 24 and we maintain 24.20, then it's just a question of more people coming in. Then it's just a question of people joining the party, but the party started. Like this could happen. We could see 25. We just need to maintain 24. And I mean, the sells keep happening. There's so many sells at fucking 24.3, 24.4, 24.5, 24.11, 24.03. That's why that's why it fluctuates so much, because there's so many people that are just selling their shares at $24.04. And I understand why they're selling their shares at $24. And I get it. It's up from $16 in 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if some insiders are selling today as well, dude. Like outright selling, not just what do you call it? Not just the scheduled sales, but it should get to 25, dude. There's not that much resistance. 24.50, there's 14,000 shares. Dude, that's nothing. There's not that many shares waiting at these levels. There's just a lot of people selling, but it's not like there's a wall. So here's the thing, if we can get more people buying than selling, we can break through. We don't need someone to buy like 100,000 shares or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like there's not this massive barrier that it needs to pass in order to keep going. 24.22. There we go. Up 2.61%. It just needs to hold it now. It just needs to hold it and keep going. It just needs. Valero says this thing will come down fast. I mean, look, that's the scary part. This thing will come down fast if it actually ends up coming down pretty badly as well. Look, here's my thing. If the market's giving you an opportunity to take profits, in my opinion, you don't like. I'm not saying you have to take a lot of profits, but if you really need the money, this is real money right now. Okay. If this is real money, don't be stupid. If you need to pay rent tomorrow, like take what you need to take. Now, long term, my mentality is this thing is going to be a very important stock one day, very important company one day. So you kind of just let it ride. And if it goes back down to 16, damn it, you buy some more, right? That's the mentality I have with Palantir. But if you need to pay your rent tomorrow, like you sell, right? If the market's giving you, if a schmuck's willing to buy it at 24.20 and you need to pay rent, you take the rent from that schmuck. This is real money. So definitely don't forget about that. ARM, where's ARM? SMCI is up a little bit. Nvidia's at 705. Where's ARM? Wow, ARM's up 36%. ARM's at $107 billion market cap, and I officially feel like this is getting into a bubble with ARM. I called up a couple people yesterday. I asked them what they think about ARM. I really do not think ARM deserves to be up 35% on those earnings. This is a company that's going to be doing $3.6 billion in revenue, not even profits, and they're worth $106 billion. Like, dude, this does not feel, I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but this does not feel like it's normal at all. This feels like the market missed out on Nvidia and SMCI and they're chasing ARM. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like on ARM. It does not feel that. Well, we'll see what happens with ARM. But look, maybe ARM keeps going higher. If SMCI is up 150%, who knows what's going to happen with ARM? But it definitely does not feel like that's natural. That does not feel natural at all. Palantir 24.20 up 2.45%. Again, the runway is cleared at 24.50. It's just a lot of people are selling at every single penny it goes up. There's sell side orders that are filled, but there's not a huge wall that's waiting. Where's Coinbase? Let's go. This is called Webull. For those that want to know the software, it's Webull. It's a free software. You can download it. And you can see Coinbase is up 5.77%. Where's Robinhood? Hood is up 1%. CleanSpark is up 6.7%. Confluent is up 30%. Affirm is up 2%. S&P is almost at 500. QQQ all-time highs. Snowflake 220. Enphase 120. MicroStrategy up 6%. That's good for MicroStrategy. Spotify's down. NASDAQ 15,768. I think 16,000 was the top November 2021. So we're getting closer to that. And then regional banks are down. TFC is down today. And then Palantir 2014. Bitfarms. Where's Bitfarms? I made some money on Bitfarms a while ago. I wish I held those options. Bitfarms is up 7%. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Palantir breaking through 24.26 right now we're seeing on Palantir. Those Palantir call options that I bought in December, they're up 50% right now, or 57%. We decided to just hold them until 2026. So those are up about $1,200 right now. Robinhood's up 1%. CleanSpark's doing well. They have earnings today. We'll see if they can break through $10. Yeah, I mean, the market's keeping this going. The market's keeping this going. Check out Bitfarms. Yeah, we checked out Bitfarms. What else do we have? ARM only makes sense if Pelosi just bought a bunch. Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine ARM like Pelosi? Oh my gosh. ARM holdings 40%. Yeah, this feels like it's being chased, dude. This feels like it's being chased. This does not feel real. It does not feel. Where's PayPal? Is PayPal still tanking? Where's PayPal? Yeah, PayPal's down 8.9%. I mean, look, it's not, again, it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought this would be a little bit worse reaction on PayPal. I think we got to give PayPal time. It'll recover. The street's not going to keep it down this long for long. Those buybacks itself are going to help boost EPS. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are selling PayPal today. That's fine. I'm going to give it some time. I really do. I don't think the earnings was that bad. That's like, given how I looked at the balance sheet, they have $9 billion in cash, dude. Like, it's like there's a lot of things this company can do. Just got to give them time. All right, Palantir 2404 coming down a little bit. We're seeing a nice big red candle right now. So There are a lot of sellers, it looks like, at 24. There are a lot of sellers at 24. And that's why it's going bad. Give us some earnings thoughts on Baba. Now Palantir below 23 or below 24. I was looking at Baba yesterday. Baba's suffering through the Chinese economy being hurt. Their earnings themselves were not super impressive, and that's why they went down. I talked to some people yesterday about Baba. They were selling Baba as well. So we'll see what ends up happening with Alibaba. But I would not be a buyer, especially when the Chinese economy is not in the best situation right now. Even though the numbers were okay, but they also decreased guidance. Their net income was down 70% year over year. It's not that compelling, even though the valuation is still stupid, but it's not that compelling. All right, Palantir is falling now, 23.77. So we just got a ton of sell side pressure at 24. We got a lot of people that took some profit. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. When Palantir falls, you saw we just fall from 24.30 to 23.82. That's a 50-cent drop. That's a 2% drop. There are people that think that's a dip. And this is the crazy part about stocks, right? It's like once you hit a new psychological level, like Nvidia going down to 600 today would be a dip, even though it was at 490 January 1st and it got to a top of 700 February 8th. If it fell to 400 today or 500 today or 550 or 600, that would be considered a dip. Palantir falling to $23, given what it did this morning, will be seen as a dip. Palantir falling to 22 will be seen as a dip. Palantir falling to 21 will be seen as a dip. And we were salivating over these prices, 21, 22. We were like, oh, dude, if we can see a 2 in front of the price, we would be, the most happiest shareholders in the world just 5 days ago. And so this is where things can switch immediately. This is where the market gets fun, because now the FOMO that people have, ends up like resistance ends up becoming support. I mean, there's so many different things that ends up happening here. And it gets really exciting to see this play out. What's going on with PayPal? What's going on with PayPal is that call was absolute garbage. That's what's going on with PayPal. That's why it's down 9%. I don't believe the numbers justify 9% drop. They beat on revenue. They beat on EPS. They're doing 5 billion share buybacks. The one bad thing they had is they lost 2 million users, but the transactions per active account went up 14%. And their transaction margins are up from 45.4 to 45.9. There is no reason on this planet PayPal should be down 10% on the numbers, but there is probably every reason that people have lost hope in Alex Chriss as a CEO, given that earnings call and how bad of a disaster it is. My prerogative is I'm trusting that the numbers will eventually win, not the earnings call, and that's why I'm not selling. So that's my thoughts on it. But at this point, 9% down is just a stupid overreaction of the market, in my opinion. It's a reaction. My Palantir shares will be inherited by my great grandkids, dude. It's one of those things where it's like, maybe, yeah, just like let it ride, let it just do its thing. Also, we got an update from Chris, our good friend Chris Patel. He's doing a battle with us Palantir shareholders because he likes making things fun. I mean, Chris is a content creator at heart. We know Chris is a content creator. I feel like he's doing this for a little bit of juicy content. But he also probably thinks that Palantir is ridiculously overvalued. He bought $21 puts on Palantir. He actually did like a put spread. So I didn't know you could do a put spread. There is something called a call debit spread where you can bet on a stock going between two prices. And if it gets to those prices, you make a multiplied effect on your entry price. So for example, I have a $30 to $35 spread on Palantir for 2026. Which means if Palantir gets to $20 to $35 by 2026, the $2,000 I put into that spread in December, that will turn into 11,000. So it like 5.2x's. That's a spread in options. Apparently, you can do a spread to the downside as well. So he put in $5,000 for a spread at 21 strike on Palantir. So if Palantir by July 2024, if Palantir gets to 16, 21 minus 16 is 5. His average cost basis was $1. So 1 times 5 equals 5. So he would make 500% on this 5,000 he put in. So if Palantir gets to $16 by July 2024, Chris Patel would make $25,000. So it's really, really super exciting to kind of see where he's going from there and how that's playing out. Now, he is bearish on where Palantir is going to end up being, but Palantir at $24, maybe going down to that level at 16 Look, again, what I said, resistance becomes support. It's hard to imagine that it gets back down to 16. That dip would get bought up very easily, 17, 18, 19, whatever. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll see, we'll see how that ends up playing out and where it goes. Isn't Chris always bearish on Palantir? Yeah, Chris is always, but now the valuations are getting kind of stupid, right? Now the valuations are getting kind of stupid. And as a result of that, we're seeing it come down. Okay, I'm gonna send the link in the chat because Tom is here in the chat. So Tom, here's the link in the chat. You can click on it in StreamYard, and you can join and give us some clarity on what's going on with Bahrain and this new Palantir deal. Okay, Palantir right now 24.18, 24.17, up 2.44%. 24.19 right now, up 2.35%. And it's still holding that $24 range. So we're seeing Palantir get up there. But the question now is just if it can continue going higher from there. ARM is almost 110. Dude, that is insane. Does anyone else feel like that's ridiculous, or is that just me? Does anyone else feel like, is it just me, or do you guys also feel that's ridiculous? Like, I hope it's not just me. I really hope at least some people in the chat feel that ARM should not be up 40% in a day. But I mean, let me know. I mean, what you guys think, because to me, it feels a little ridiculous. Bitcoin 45,000. Okay, so we got Bitcoin 45,000. Bitcoin's also running up as well. I mean, look, the market's pumping. Let's look at the ETFs. ARKB. Where's ARKB? ARKB is up 2%. So that's ARK's Bitcoin ETF. IBIT is up 2.34%. Bitcoin iShares, Bitcoin Trust 2581. ARM 41%. PayPal's down 9%. Alibaba's down 3%. CleanSpark's up 5%. Robinhood's up a little bit. Palantir 24.22, continuing to sustain that momentum. 24.22 on Palantir. Michael says they may or may not grow drastically, but it will grow. I think it is a safe bet, and that all $6 trillion in money markets islands will probably push it up. I see more upside than downside. If you're talking about ARM, I agree. It could probably get pumped up by money market funds and the money that's chasing, but I don't know if that's the catalyst, dude. I don't know if that's the catalyst. I don't know if that's. I mean, look, that could be the catalyst, but I mean, that's not really the business catalyst. That's just the money coming in to the company catalyst. I don't know if that's enough to sustain it. All right, so we see Palantir breaking out a little bit, 24.35. Oh, you're talking about PayPal. Okay, that's okay. That makes sense. So you're talking about ARM. I'm like, it's already run up a lot. It's hard to imagine that. 24.37 right now on Palantir. All right, so we're seeing a bit of a breakout. 24.40. There we go. 24.40. That's the breakout. 24.40. 24.40. Now we got to see 24.43. 24.40. We're seeing 24.40. We got to see if we can get a little bit higher. 24.41. Do you still hold TFC? Me and Chris still have a lot of TFC. I'm up like 70% on TFC, actually. Yeah, I have a lot of TFC. My goal is to ride that out until 2026. So yeah, I have a lot of TFC. 24.35. Okay, let me check the order book. The order book, what do we have? There's 24,000 shares waiting for us at 24.50. That's actually not that hard, dude. It's a clear path to 24.50. We are clear for takeoff if we can get to 24.50. We get through 24.50, then 25 is actually not that crazy, dude. There's 12,000 at 24.80. There's 20,000 at 24.95. And then there's 75,000 at 25. Okay, so 25 is going to be hard, but we have a clear runway to get there if we can just break through. I mean, what do you use on your order book? I use Robinhood Gold, $5 a month, $7 a month, and then Robinhood Gold can get you to see it. Who is buying? That's a great question. Who is buying? I don't know, because I bought 20 shares yesterday as a joke. I always buy one share as a joke when we get to the very end of a dollar price target, like when we're at the 99, 98 level. But who's really buying? I don't know, dude. There's two groups that are buying. We're at 30 million shares in volume. And here's the bull and bear case. And I said this yesterday, but let me reiterate it. It's bullish if institutions are buying because they think it's running up with NVIDIA and AMD and all these guys, right? And they're buying. It's very bearish if retail is the majority of these buys. If Wall Street bet degenerates are the majority of these buys. Because if those are the majority of these buys, then, it's not doing the best. But if it's retail, then obviously, if it's institutions, then it's obviously better because then it's real. But if it's retail, that's going to go away. If it's retail, that's going to go away. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up. We'll see what ends up playing. All right, we got Tom here in the background. I'm going to bring him on stage. Tom, you are live with us right now. I don't think he knows that he's live. You're muted. There you go. You're unmuted now. Your mic's not working. If you're talking, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Yeah, Tom, we can't hear you. Maybe rejoin, then join again. Maybe rejoin, then join again. We can't hear you at all. It's not just me, right? Everyone else in the chat can't hear it? Yeah, he's going to rejoin. Okay. Cool. 2433. Institutional ownership is at about 39%. I would argue by the end of the year, we get closer to 40, 45-ish%. But right now, we're still at 39%. And we're going to end up seeing what that happens as well. Simon says, hi, Amit. I have 1,000 shares of Palantir. I think it can make a whole difference in my life. I will go long with Palantir. Yeah, Simon, I look, at the end of the day, I think going long is the right mentality with this. Even if it dips back to 16, the numbers they prove to us prove that this is a real company. And because they proved it's a real company, I am much more comfortable now just like buying under $20, buying at some of these elevated levels because I think the numbers are real. And if the numbers are real, it gets more exciting as well. Bitcoin, 45,000. Bitcoin, where are we at? On Bitcoin, 2428 right now on Palantir. Bitcoin, here we go, 45,131 on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold these levels as well, and maybe we can get closer to 50,000 before that halving event in April, the miners are going to run. And if Bitcoin can get to, Robin is at 1114, if Bitcoin can get closer to that 50,000 range, 55, the miners are going to have a fun year. So we got to see if that happens. All right, Tom, you're on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's like a Verizon commercial.
So many good jokes got lost in the void. I was saying that I was talking to myself, but I'm married for so long, I'm used to it. And then there was no laughs. I felt so empty. I was asking you if you like my name. Former Money Talk star.
Yeah, I love
it. The glory of all days.
Oh, man.
Let's look. First of all, you're doing a wonderful job with these streams. I've accidentally got addicted to your morning streams. I can't even tell you how good they've gotten. You've come a long way. And the streams are absolutely phenomenal to watch and to listen. I mostly listen to it. I don't always watch because I can't stand to see your face, but I listen to it in the background.
Well, no, but I don't have. But the thing is, I thought you would watch it now because I don't have the terrorist beard anymore that you call that every day. We got rid of that, so I thought it's more attractive. But it's okay.
Well, talking about the terrorists, let's talk about. Let's talk about the Middle East here for a second.
Boy! All right.
The place where nothing makes sense and everything is reverse. So Bahrain.
Yeah, let me set this up real quick. Let me ask you. So to get people updated, Palantir announced a new deal with Bahrain today, or with a company in Bahrain, Bapco Energies. The deal is to give AIP and Foundry in a multi-year partnership to accelerate Bapco's upstream ability to power the next generation of energy in the Kingdom of Bahrain. So I guess the question for you is, why do you think Palantir is making this deal? And from a geopolitical standpoint, obviously energy, Russia, all of that stuff is very intertwined. How do you think this ends up playing out?
So here's the thing. You mentioned energy. So that's a very good point. You see, the Middle East in general has been the playground of many regional forces. The United States, Russia, China, Iran. It's a big clusterfuck. Now, what's been happening, and it's, by the way, the bottom line here is that it's very good for Palantir, but not in the sense of not warmongering. This new setup that's being formed right now in the Middle East is very, very beneficial for Palantir, and I'll explain. So as we know, Alex won't work with countries that don't align with the Western allies and the Western way of life, and he won't work with assholes in general, no matter what the payout might be. So the Middle East for Palantir up until a couple of years ago was a no-go. It's just basically Israel and Saudi Arabia, and that's it, right? Otherwise, it's pretty much there's no partnerships there. Now, what happened is the United States is obviously trying to minimize its physical presence in the Middle East, as everybody knows. It's too expensive. There's no need for it now that the U.S. is basically a net exporter of energy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they don't want to give up, obviously, the influence, the clout, and there's a lot of reasons why that influence is still needed. So what's been in the works right now is essentially transforming the Middle East to run itself on behalf of U.S. interests. And that is why Iran is so uptight about it. The reason Iran isn't happy about this new setup is because the U.S. Is going to leave the Middle East, which is what Iran always wanted, but it's going to be under the thumb and control of the United States, which goes against what Iran wants and Russia wants and China wants. So that's why you're seeing all these violent developments, let's call it this way, in the Middle East. But why is it good for Palantir? So as the United States is forming these new alliances in the Middle East, you have to understand all of these countries that have aligned with the US in the Middle East, they all fear one thing, which is Iran. Saudi Arabia fears Iran. The United Arab Emirates fears Iran. Bahrain, all of these countries that are moderate Muslim countries in the Middle East, they fear Iran because Iran has a lot of bad track record with how it behaves with its neighbors, etc., etc. So as the United States form all these new alliances, I just want to let you know that Bahrain was one of the first countries to sign the Abraham Accords with Israel, along with the United Arab Emirates and Morocco and other countries. So as all of these countries come under the influence of the United States in the creation of a new regional alliance, something like NATO, right? You have NATO in Europe against Russia. So the United States is building a NATO model in the Middle East against Iran. It was going to include Saudi Arabia, UAE, Israel, et cetera, with U.S. support with technological and weaponry perspective, right? So as this whole thing is forming, all of these new countries with lots of money, Bahrain is a very rich country. All of these new countries with lots of money become part of this U.S. Ring of influence, which makes them a very, very compatible client for Palantir. So you'll see more and more partnerships in the Middle East from Palantir, not specifically from a military perspective. Notice how I'm not warmongering here. That's not about the conflicts. It's about how the Middle East is transforming and Iran is getting pushed out, like Russia is getting pushed out back into its borders. The same thing is happening in the Middle East. And because it's going to be so like somewhat remote controlled by the United States with this new alliance, companies like Palantir with their AI platforms, with what they do with the Foundry, with what they do with Gotham, all of these platforms become hyper relevant and now also available to a bunch of new partners that were excluded up until 5 or 6 years ago. So I think Bahrain is just the start. Look at the size of this deal. It's just going to be the beginning of many, many more partnerships coming in from all these countries, United Arab Emirates and Saudi and all of these countries. Because if the United States, by the way, the condition is once the Saudi Arabia Israel deal goes through, Saudi Arabia gets a shit ton of U.S. Military support, F-35s and a lot. So if the United States clears Saudi Arabia to be a proper ally, that means that multiple opportunities will open up in the region, and Palantir is going to benefit a lot from it. Not to mention the military aspects, which I don't fully understand, but obviously that's also a huge potential. So wherever you look right now, Palantir is on the fast track to out of stratosphere trajectory.
So I was going to say here, if that's the case, you think this is a deal to catapult better, like, I guess my question is, do you think this helps the relationships with the Middle East and the U.S. in regards to energy, or it just makes the Middle East more energy independent? Like, how do you think the deal
No. Think about it this way. So Bahrain sells energy, right? The United States traditionally have always made sure that energy sales around the world were secure, whether it's by sea or by pipelines. The United States was always the world's policeman, mainly to keep energy flow going freely and securely. Okay, right now it's changing from missiles and planes and carrier strike groups to software. So right now the United States is doing it from afar, and companies like Palantir coming in saying, "Hey, Bahrain, we're going to help you make sure that everything goes smooth with your energy sales and energy supply chains and everything." So the United States is even more involved right now with the intricacies of the energy supply chain of the Middle East, but not even by being there, by using companies like Palantir. So it's not about energy independence. It's about the United States remaining insanely influential in the region, without having to put boots on the ground, which is the most beautiful part of the strategy. And Palantir is the main beneficiary of it, as a company that's based a lot of its relationships and networking with the DoD for specifically these sort of types of deals.
Got it. This seems exciting, dude. Seems like a really important deal. And when I saw it this morning, I was like, wow, healthcare, supply chain with the Australia deal. Obviously, we got new contracts. Right now, Palantir 2456 is trying to get past that 2450 level. And now we got energy, which is...
By the way, I want to say something. I want to give a huge credit to Steven. I'm looking forward to his article tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be a banger, like it always is. He's the best writer on Seeking Alpha.
I agree.
Him and Dominic, they're really great. Both of them are the best. Dominic, by the way, Rinaldi is one of the OGs. So he said something very, very smart. For all the people right now in the audience, right, there's a lot of people, record-breaking numbers for you. I'm proud of you. And honestly, I'm happy for you. All these people in the audience, everybody's wondering at some point when the price keeps going up, people start to wonder more and more, okay, when do I take some profits? Maybe it's going to
what are your thoughts? Do you like, if someone had a...
Steven nailed it. Steven, I'm going to quote Steven because he nailed it. He said, look, in all probability, it's going to correct, right? We all understand it's going to correct. But if you accept this timing the market as a possibility, and you're going to say, I'm going to sell now, it's going to correct, I'm going to buy back later, you're essentially engaging in timing the market as a long-term investor. And even though I'm going to expand on what he said right now. He said, I don't want to do it. The reason he doesn't want to do it, and I'm going to add my own interpretation, is because if you do it, you're going to be right 2 or 3 times out of 10. So this time you might be right, but if you develop this bad habit of trying to time the market, eventually you're going to get burned, because more often than not, you're going to lose. So it makes sense from a habit perspective. And now I know you're big on habits right now. You've been developing good, healthy habits. So the proper habit to develop is not to try and time the market, even though you're positive it's going to correct, which we're all sure of. That is why I'm not selling a single share as well. It's tempting, but it's a bad habit to do. So
I agree. I mean, that's the same mentality I've had, which is that if this is a generational company you want to hold for a long time, and this is not Tesla at 700 billion, this is maybe Tesla at 40 billion in 2017, then why necessarily sell? I do think, though, and I think you would agree, 45% in 2 days, given those earnings, which were good earnings, not Nvidia level earnings, but really good earnings, maybe is a bit of an overreaction. The question just becomes, then, are you trying to time it? If you're trying to get out of it, then buy back in at a later price.
Yeah,
but nonetheless,
it probably is overinflated. You're right. It probably is overinflated, and it always corrects. Nothing ever goes up endlessly except the penis in the Thailand whorehouse. But at some point, it's going to correct itself for sure. But how do you know when it's going to correct, and how do you know when to jump back on? It's a gamble. So unless you're a trader, like a guy like Jesse, who's another fucking genius, a guy like Jesse who does this thing for a living, and he jumps off and on of stocks even in a single day, yeah, he plays that game. But anybody here in the audience that's not a trader professionally, and you're a long-term investor, you're going to be playing a game which you don't have the tools to succeed in, against people who have way better information, way better tools. So I don't think it's a good idea to come to a gunfight with a knife.
Yeah. Do you think
going to make money whatever happens? Jesse's going to make money off Palantir whatever happens. But like, how many Jessies out there, and how many people who don't know what they're doing and going to be trading and losing money?
Do you think the volume is institutional or retail FOMO? Because it's definitely FOMO of some type, but do you think it's the big guys or the...
I think it's both. Look, everybody, the jig is up. S&P inclusion is coming. Everybody's setting up. So a lot of institutional interest, because guys like Dan Ives, people say, oh, Dan Ives carries a lot of weight with a lot of institutional folks.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Ives is no slouch. So when Dan Ives gives you 30, and Dan Ives sits in meetings which we don't see, he talks with institutional investors all day. When Dan Ives is hyper bullish on it, it creates a lot of interest. When there's profitability, dilution isn't a thing anymore. There's a lot of,
and also Dan Ives isn't afraid to tell the truth. Like with that Elon call, he's not an Elon fanboy. He said Elon was a child, so I think you can trust him a little bit more as well.
Dan Ives, despite, I mean, look, people like to talk about the way that he suits. I think it's brilliant the way he dresses. I think he's a fashion icon.
Great. I agree.
He's the sort of guy who's going to call it like he sees it, and that's something I absolutely love. And that's why I think when he says 30, people listen. Obviously, there's a lot of retail FOMO, as always. The market is heating up. People are, we remember this from 2020, right? When there's a market hot, People want to make money, obviously. But I think this time, I mean, it's very different. You remember when we went through this in 2020,
Yeah.
and a lot of irrationality. Now the community itself, by the way, in great part because of the work you're doing, the community itself is so much better versed and educated in the fundamentals, so that post-traumatic disorder that we have, I think, is no longer required, because people now understand that we have like a Tesla like mentality at this point. The community, people understand, they buy the dip, they don't freak out easily. There's a lot less memishness to this. This seems way more fundamental.
Yeah, well,
That's
the
gonna
numbers are
correct.
real. The numbers are
Yeah,
real, you know?
yeah. The numbers are real. Look, I've explained this many times. I work in
By the way,
consulting.
Tom, while you're talking, ARM is up 60%. Just go ahead, but just want to say that.
Yeah, the market is definitely, there's a lot. The market is heating up in general. It's not just Palantir. So let's be fair. But look, I work in consultancy all my life. I can tell you something very, very simple. When I see some company that has 500% increase in the amount of pilots it's running with clients,
yeah.
you can't make it, you can't fake it. You can't fake
Yep.
it. The only thing is that you have to understand sales cycles. You have to understand that pilots today mean revenue in about 9 months. That's how it works. So you're not going to see it right away, but it's good because you had so many months and weeks to buy the stock cheap before the news was out. And I think that we see another 5x next year in 2024. They're probably 2,500 pilots. Have you seen
Right.
the one that they did with the NFL?
Yeah, yesterday we watched it live. It was
Motherfucker
amazing.
was playing Madden against itself. Did you see that thing?
No, there was 900 people. We were watching it. All of us were just like, this is the best way they could have ever explained
Bro,
it.
it was the computer playing Madden against itself and actually adjusting and changing things.
Yeah.
Not just scripted football.
Yeah. I agree.
It was insane.
Now, the only thing is, like, is this, I get your point. Your point is the same as everyone's point, which is that these are real numbers. This is not .com, blah, blah, blah. But
No,
if there
it
is
is the,
any
no,
correction,
hold on a second.
is there a violent correction is my question. Against
It
the
is
whole
the
market.
.com. It is the .com. The .com gave you Amazon and Google and Microsoft and all these companies. It gave you a lot of that. It also gave you a lot of trash. It is the .com 2.0. It's just the question: what is the real companies? What is the Amazons, the Googles, and what is the trash? The Pets.com, whatever it was.
Right.
And I think Palantir is clearly in that category of, you're getting in early on the next wave of behemoths. When Palantir is going to be a $200 billion company and it's going to seem normal, people are going to say, "Oh, I wish I bought it when it was 50."
Yeah.
The same.
That's fair.
It's the same thing that happened when it was easy to hate on the company when the share price was down. But look, ignore the share price. Look at the fundamentals of the company. Look at the trajectory. Look at their margins. Look at their balance sheet. I argue that Palantir has the cleanest balance sheet in the stock market. I haven't seen the company.
I think it's top 5. I think it has to be top 5. It has to be.
I think the only one that gives them a run for the money is Tesla. Quality of balance sheet. That's it.
Yeah.
So top 5 CEO, top 5 balance sheet, top 5 margins as far as SaaS, and their price to sales is cheaper than Cloudflare, Snowflake, Zscaler, you name it, Datadog, all of these plays that are in kind of the same area, even though they don't compete, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, look, I don't want to take your shine. It's your show. I'm happy to be a part of it.
No, thank you for joining, dude. Thank you for shedding light on the Bahrain deal, because I'm still reading. I barely got to read it this morning, but that makes a lot of sense.
Keep killing it. I said yesterday on Twitter that you deserve a lot of credit for the work you do in the community.
Yeah, no, and I think you deserve a lot of credit. I mean, you're the one who got people on YouTube even talking about Palantir in 2020. Without you, I don't think a lot of people would have discovered it. So it's been a fun whole community building thing over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And the only other community that exists like this is Tesla.
I think we're gonna have an equivalent, if not bigger, community eventually when this thing all plays out. I'm good with equivalent.
Yeah, I would be good with equivalent. That would be nice. And if the stock does anything near that, that would also be nice. So it'll be exciting. It'll be fun.
If I'll say goodbye with the famous Michigan football quote that suits here very well: "Those who stay will be champions."
Okay. There we go. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so Palantir 24.48 right now on the stock. We hit a high of 24.54. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. I think that sometimes in life you have deja vu. And yesterday around this time, 10 o'clock, which is usually when I end the stream, we had Palantir at 23.30. And the whole question was like, maybe we can get to 24. Well, now the next day, the day after, with the day we streamed for 9 hours, it's the same time I should be ending the stream, and we're at 24.50. And maybe we can get to 25. So, look, I don't think we can go another whole day, dude. I have so many things I was supposed to do yesterday that I just did not do. I don't think we can go a whole day, but I think we can stay on a little longer. I think we can stay on a little longer. Search says, bro, I need to work today. 8-hour stream. Oh man, dude, I have so much shit I have to do, guys. I have so many projects I'm working on, so much shit I have to do. I have to send money to different places. I have to do so much stuff. And yesterday I was just like looking at this thing go tick by tick by tick by tick by tick. And it was more exciting than anything that's on Netflix, quite frankly. So, I mean, look, we're at 24. If we get below 24, then we'll call it a day and we'll see what happens. But I mean, you know, we're getting closer to that 24.5, and let's see if that 24.5 turns into 25, and then maybe 25 turns into 25.5 as well. I mean, let's just see what happens. Let's have it roll and keep going. Vincent, it's 11 p.m. here in mid. Vincent, I'm sorry to keep you up, but you know, we're here. Did you make any revenue from the longer stream? So I've never done a 9-hour stream. The revenue numbers will come out tomorrow. I think the super chats definitely made some money, maybe like 150 to $200. I don't know if ad revenue actually goes up just because you had a longer stream. Like maybe it does, but in general, you guys know how much I make for these market open streams. It's like $30 every day. So this 75 minutes is worth $30 to YouTube. Now, to me, it's priceless because every single person that picks to spend 75 minutes with me in the morning, I can't even explain my gratitude, right? So the $30 is really not that important to me. At this point of my career in finance media, I'm trying to build audience. And, you know, people kept saying yesterday, hey, Amit, aren't you tired? You deserve a break, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't know if you've ever been in a moment in your life where there is an opportunity and you have to fucking capture it. I've been in that moment once in my life, and that's when I was becoming one of the best debaters in the country. My junior year, you needed to win 2 tournaments to get to the Tournament of Champions. Only 80 debaters are selected per year to get to that tournament. And I was a junior. I had sucked the first half of the year from September to December. By January, I went to a tournament. I did well, but I lost in the first round. And that was in Massachusetts. It was a 6-hour bus ride back to New Jersey. On those 6 hours, I told myself the next tournament, I'm going to fucking win. I am not going to, let this pushback stop me, because I did really well, but then I lost in the first round. The next tournament I win. The second tournament I win, and then I get invited to the Tournament of Champions in Kentucky in junior year, 2015. And I'm one of the top 88 debaters in the country. And then I just go all in my senior year. I become one of the top 7 debaters in the country. So to me, this is an opportunity to make an impact, to actually grow the channel, to enjoy the stream, to really give quality analysis. And when those opportunities happen, you can't get tired. And I just hope everyone feels that at some point in their life, because I've been lucky enough when I was in high school feeling that in debate. I was legitimately, dude, how many times you get to be the best in anything in the world? I wanted to be a basketball star. I unfortunately didn't have the talent to be a basketball star, but trying to be good at sports is like 1 in a trillion. Trying to be good in debate is actually a lot easier because at the end of the day, it's talking. And then I realized I was decent at talking. And I realized that, well, if I'm decent at talking, let me just keep talking. And if I can get competitive, I can get good at arguing, I can win. And then I actually ended up winning. And if I actually end up winning, why would I end up stopping, right? Why would I not stay up a couple extra hours to do research and all this? This is the moment. This is the moment you do it. And if this is the moment you do it, then this is the moment that's time to take advantage of it. So super, super exciting. Thank you all for being here. And the show has to go on. And the show has to go on. This is the time that we do it. 24.38 on Palantir. Let me look at the book value. We'll look at a couple of other stocks as well as we're taking notice of Palantir. Right now, the walls that we have are 15,000 at 24.55, 13,000 at 24.83. Oh my God, there's 134,000 shares waiting at 25. So 25 is not going to be easy. Let's just say that. We are definitely in a little rocky type of fight. 134,000 shares at 25 is not going to be easy. But I do think getting to that 24.7-ish range is way easier than it looks. And I think right now it's just got to see if it can go back and forth. We're past 23, which is crazy. Who thought we would be past 23? We're past 23. So we're here. We're here. Kenneth says, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Yeah, dude, but it's true. Like when you get an opportunity, dude, like I was so surprised people were saying you were so tired. I thought more people would just be like, like, yeah, you're supposed to do it. And like a lot of you are, but like I'm 26, dude. This is not the time to be tired. It's just absurd to me that is even a question. Like, no, dude, this is PayPal's down 10%. PayPal's should get pretty tired of falling every single second, but this is not the time to get tired. This is the time to work. This is the time to put in the hours. You only get so many chances in life to put in the hours. When you get a chance, you put in the damn hours, you enjoy it, and you keep going. And if you love it, and I think you guys can tell I fucking love this shit. So it doesn't even feel like work, dude. It doesn't even feel like work. Okay, so we're at Robinhood's up 2% on the day. Not bad. Kathy Wood bought 120,000 shares. I think Robinhood's getting ready for their, what I believe, earnings extravaganza that is going to happen. So very, very excited that Robinhood's making a little bit of a momentum play right now, and we'll see how that ends up turning out. Bitcoin still 45,000. SoFi 786. SoFi is actually up 2.6%. So SoFi is up a little bit. SoFi is not doing too bad. Palantir 2426. How big is the Bahrain deal? We don't have the money on that deal, but in terms of geopolitical importance and overall commercial international expansion, I think it's a very big deal, especially because it has to do with energy in the Middle East. So I think that is an important deal that we're seeing right now. Austin says, admit this isn't the whole order book. Institutions use dark pools and will pair big block orders. That's true, Austin. I'm using whatever I can show. And so the reason we're probably seeing resistance here at 2430 is probably because there's probably more shares, willing to be sold. But at least from what I can see, it's somewhat of a clear path to that 2480-ish realm. And then, things get really, really hard. But we'll see where it ends up going from there. Path versus Palantir. I would pick Palantir. Path is robotic processing automation. It can kind of do the stuff that Palantir is doing in regards to helping an organization automate their workflows, but it's still very different than what the totality of Palantir is. And I wouldn't be comparative between Palantir and Path. So I wouldn't do that. Sai Kumar says, I probably owe you half the money from Palantir because you are the reason why I purchased it. Sai, I appreciate the sentiment. But again, guys, if you bought the stock, you bought the stock. I mean, it's the most exciting thing to buy an equity, no matter what research you look at. If you press buy or you press sell, it's on you, right? And so it's one of those things that I think is just, it is what it is. And if you bought it, you bought it. Now, if you want to sell it as well, if it goes to 16, you got to deal with bag holding it if you're going to bag hold it. But the fun part is that this entire community is crowdsourced information. Ultimately, the decision you make is the decision you make. So you can't really even give me credit, but I'm happy I helped play somewhat of a role in helping you think of the company, because it did seem like a year ago, everyone thought this company was full of shit. And it never felt like that when you looked at the deals. Like the deal we got today with Bahrain, we get that deal 2022. Everyone thinks that the stock went down 8% on days where we got those deals. I remember, why I remember? Because I used to go to the chiropractor back in 2022 because my back was like really messed up. And I would be at the chiropractor. Palantir was $8. I would be reading the deals. I'd be on Robinhood putting my $200 in, right? Just like buying whatever I could. And it would be down on a really good deal. And it just didn't make sense. And today it's up 3% on a very good deal because now the street gets it. And that's why it's super exciting. Dialect, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Amit, what do you think about SoFi and their future? I'm excited for SoFi. I just don't think the street cares enough about it. And when a lot of people try to compare SoFi to Palantir, to me, SoFi is a bank. It's a fast growing bank. Palantir is just, one of the most exciting companies in the world. And so SoFi is exciting in their growth, but that's it. That's the only reason they're exciting. If they didn't have the growth, they would not be exciting. They're a bank. Palantir has like 5 trillion reasons for why they're exciting, right? And that's why I like Palantir. Now, going long from SoFi at these prices, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. I definitely would go long SoFi from $7.87 than Palantir at 24, given that Palantir has run up so much. I think that's very reasonable. But in general, you've got to deal with the fact that the street doesn't care that much about a bank, especially a bank that's not as profitable as the other banks. You could buy another bank that's profitable. Now their growth is there, but they've got high growth, but they don't have SaaS margins, at least not yet. They're working on a tech platform. Maybe one day it becomes super SaaS margins, but it's still just the bank. So it's a lending business at the end of the day. It's a fast growing lending business, but it's not the most exciting lending business, in the world. Palantir 2409. Okay. So we're selling off a little bit. Let's see if it comes down a little bit more to that 23 level, but we are still at 2409. And we're seeing a little bit more of a red candle right there. I could see us falling back to 2380 and then going back up, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, so we have Google. We have Sundar Pichai. Let's go to Sundar Pichai. This is his first interview he's done in a while. Google cracked after earnings. It went down about 7%. Right now, Google after hours, 2407 on Palantir. Google, or it's not after hours, but after earnings is 147. So they recovered from 139. I did buy the Google dip. I bought $1,000 of the Google dip when it got to 139. And that has paid off so far. I'm up on Google, so that's doing well. Let's see Sundar Pichai talking on Google and Gemini. We haven't heard him talk in a live interview in a long time. So let's hear a couple minutes of this, and then we'll get back to Palantir. I'll keep you guys updated in the chat on the price. Here we go.
Bard is now changing its name to Gemini, and the tech giant launching.
Oh, wow. They've changed Bard to Gemini. Now it's gemini.google.com. That's such a better name. I already feel better about my Google investment. That's great. That's a good move. I like that. That's a good move.
Gemini Advanced. It's a paid option, and it's even more of an advanced version of its AI model to compete.
So they're basically launching a ChatGPT subscription. I love it. I love it. If people like Gemini over ChatGPT, they'll cancel ChatGPT. They'll pay for Gemini, and that's more revenue for Google. Great move. Great move.
With ChatGPT. In an exclusive interview, I spoke with Alphabet and Google CEO Sundar Pichai about these developments and the news. And I started out by asking him about why the name change.
For us, Gemini is our approach overall in terms of how we are building our most capable and safe and responsible AI models. So it's the frontier of the technology we are pushing along. And Bard was the most direct way people could interact with our models, right? And so it made sense to just evolve it to be Gemini, because you're actually talking directly to the underlying Gemini model when you use it. And I think it'll also be the way by which we will keep advancing our models and users can experience it directly. And so we thought the name change made sense.
You're also introducing Gemini Advanced. This is Google's answer to ChatGPT Plus. How does it stand apart? How does it compare in your mind?
Well, Gemini Advanced has access to Ultra 1.0, which is our most capable model till date. To me, look, I think it's exciting because for people who really are using these products as a power user, a real collaborative partner, maybe in a professional context, maybe you're using it for coding, it just gives you more capabilities. It's particularly good at complex queries, multi-turn queries. It has very good workspace integration. It is built from the ground up to be natively multimodal. So when you attach images and query, it really shines. You can use the Gemini app on your phone and say, tell me more about what I'm seeing on my screen. So it's really capable along those dimensions.
What's the biggest improvement that you think has been made? And was there a moment at which they brought you the latest model and there was some prompt you put into it and you said, okay, we've done something here?
For me, it was really when you gave it a series of images, it really makes sense of it, right? It's almost understanding it as video and can answer questions related to that. So kind of shows, because it's the first time natively in the training data, we included not just text, audio, images, video, code. And so that plays out in the model when you test it that way. So, it was.
Okay, so again, Sundar, I love the move. I wish you could learn to sound excited. Dude, if I was him and I was on that stream, if I was Google CEO, man, oh man, would I hype that up? I would be like, guys, we are launching a new gem of a product and it's called Gemini. Like, I would be all over it, but I'm not the CEO of Google. Palantir, $23.93, up 1.38%. So it's selling off from that $24 level. Again, I think we said we would probably see Palantir go down back to 23.80-ish and then maybe recover. The question now is, can it recover back to that 24.50 level, or does it stay stuck here? this is what we now have to see. We got a nasty red candle right there. So definitely there's a lot of sellers right here. Here's the thing. We're not going to have, or at least today, it doesn't seem like we're having a broad pullback in the equity markets. If we just look at the indices. So we've got S&P. Where's the S&P right now? SPY. Yeah, it's at 497. It's barely down. So if the S&P doesn't come down, it's hard for a lot of stocks that are mooning to come down as well, right? If the S&P was down 1%, I think Palantir getting to 24 would be, it would be just tougher for Palantir. But the S&P is doing fine. The indices are doing fine. The QQQs are doing fine. There's not broad-based equity sell-offs right now, which means Palantir at 23.85 isn't crazy to see it rebound, given it's going okay. But we could see if it sells off, if it tends to just get a little too heated. Dialect, thank you for the $50 super chat. That's a lot of money. Thank you for that. You say, thank you for all your dedication to the channel. I work so much. I depend on channels like yours for quick updates. Thanks again. I'm holding 12,000 Palantir shares till retirement. I'm looking towards SoFi as my next DCA target. Thank you so much, Dialect. I'm happy you have 12,000 Palantir shares for the retirement. I mean, that's great. You're holding it for the long term. And yeah, I'm happy the channel gives you some updates and can keep you updated on what's going on in the world. I do that for other channels. Like there's a CleanSpark channel, my boy Rex Finance. I rely on him on my CleanSpark updates. There's plenty of channels I use for different updates. So I'm happy that I can be that for you as well. And thank you again for the $50. $50 is a lot of fucking money, dude. That's a lot. That's 2 Palantir shares now. So guys, I've decided, I think the account I started on public yesterday. So I started a new account on public. I'm going to just dump whatever like external money we get into Palantir into that account and not care about the price. So yesterday I put my Twitter money and my Substack money, which is $456. So this, you guys are seeing it right now, right? We bought $23.76. That's what we bought a Palantir. My thing is whatever money I get from Twitter, Substack, and maybe even super chats, I think we just dump it into this. Like, we just put it in here, whatever price it is. It's kind of like a YouTube Palantir portfolio. Because I was thinking, hey, let's do S&P. But now I'm thinking, now that the numbers are good for Palantir, and that was the biggest concern, like, can the numbers perform? Now the numbers are good. And so if it goes to 16, I don't care. If it goes to 17, I don't care. If it goes to 15, I don't care. And it could very well get back to those prices when we have a broad-based sell-off in the next coming months that Tom Lee's predicting. You could absolutely get there. Or it could keep staying at 24, 25. I think we just dump it here. So, yeah, I think any super chat you guys send, because it's usually on a stream where we're talking about Palantir, I'll just write it down, right? I'll write down how much, and the next day we'll just dump it in here into Palantir. It'll be fun. It'll be fun seeing how that ends up growing over the long time. 3,000, yes, 3,000 shares. That's the main portfolio, long term. Not touching that, not holding it, locked away. Don't even look at it. Don't try to look at the gains. It is what it is, dude. That's what it is. Now I will show you some options I have on Palantir, and let's look at those right now, and let's see how those are doing. So the option strategy I have, oh, wow, it's up 53%. Well, that's actually not the all time that it was up. It was up more than that before. These are the ones I asked you guys, should I sell it? Because it's options not last week, 2 days ago. And you guys were like, no, don't sell. So we're not selling. We're keeping it. Palantir, $30, $35 calls. This is a spread. It's up $1,100. That's real money. If we take profits right now, that's a real $1,100 coming in. But, we're just going to let it ride. If it gets to, let me show you the stimulation. Okay. Let's stimulate the prices, not stimulate. We're going to stimulate. If Palantir gets to $35, 2026, this 2,000 that I randomly put in December becomes 12,000. So let's just let it ride. Let's see what happens. It'll be fun in 2026 on the market live. Guys, remember those options I bought a long time ago? Because I don't do options on Palantir. I don't like doing options on Palantir. I like just like buying the shares and letting. I do options on other companies, but Palantir, I never. You guys see me. I never do options on Palantir. This was at one point in December. I was just like, I just had 2,000. I was like, fuck it, we'll just buy this random option. I didn't think it would get to $24 this soon, so I thought that was going to be dead money for a while. But I was like, all right, if Palantir goes up in the next couple of years, and that it'll be a little bit better of an alpha on my money. And it ended up going down. It ended up doing well. So we'll see where it goes up from there. 23.50 on Palantir. We're seeing a 0.23% decline. So it's starting to fall off a little bit. Hashem says, help. Should I buy more PayPal? I cannot tell you to buy more PayPal or not. What I can say is I am not selling my PayPal. I think down 10% is stupid based on the earnings. It is absolutely stupid. So you have to decide if you want to buy or sell. I am not selling. That's all I'll say. And you know, we talked about PayPal in the PayPal segment. If you go back to the 6 minutes and 12 portion of the stream, if you want to rewind, you can watch me talk about it. I think the sell-off is stupid. So it should stay there. What kind of option did you buy? I bought the $30 call. I sold the $35 call for January 2026. So it creates a spread of $5 and I paid 76 cents. So if you divide 5 by 76 cents, that's basically 700%, right? When you do the math. So that's almost a 700% return I can get on the, or like 670%. So my 2,000 basically becomes 12,000. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Can't tell if Amit is aware of the theta decay, intrinsic, extras, and extrinsic value or not. Yes, but remember, this is still 2026. If these options were expiring like anytime soon, I would have sold them, dude. I would have taken my money on Palantir and been like, yep, that's 1,200. They would have been more than 1,200, been like almost 4,000 if I had them expiring soon. But they're expiring. We have a long time for them to play out, you know? So goal is probably, you know, sell out early 2025 and then keep going from there. Palantir's market cap is going to be more than PayPal soon. Could you imagine? PayPal's market cap is 60 billion. Palantir's market cap is 51 billion. And PayPal does 4 billion in free cash flow. PayPal does 30 billion in revenue. Palantir does 2 billion in revenue and they made 210 million in net income. That is insane. If anything, that should show you the dichotomy between where the market is willing to give the premium versus where the market thinks, you know, a company is dead. But it also should potentially scare you and maybe think that the market's being a little kapooey right now, given how the valuations are going. Kelly says, I was thinking about this exactly yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of insane, right? This is why valuations do matter, because things but also narratives matter. Not just valuations, narratives also matter. So all of this stuff is important. Eeyore says for sure, rule of thumb is to hold an option, is to not hold an option that expires within the next 40 days. That's when theta decay really ramps up. What I thought, Eeyore, is that rule of thumb is to not hold an option that expires in 90 days. 40 days, you're probably right. It really starts, but I heard within 3 months, so 90 days, that's when the theta decay can really start. And so for me, I try to get out of it by 6 months, right? 6 months before, like 180 days to be extra safe. But yeah, that is fair. That's a fair point. Okay, where's CleanSpark? CleanSpark, look at that. 10%, baby. $10 on the day. $10.17 on the day. So CleanSpark's doing great. That's not too bad. That's nice to see on CleanSpark. CleanSpark obviously has been in the gutter for a while, but the reason it's up is because Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin. 2% up, 45,430. Not bad at all, Mr. Bitcoin. And then Robinhood is up 2.55%, $11.28. Not bad either. Nvidia's at 700. Not bad either. CEO matters. Yes, CEO matters as well. Define theta. It's basically time decay, right? So the closer your option is to expiration, if you are farther out from your strike price, the option can, you know, more probabilistically expire worthless. But if you are closer to your strike price or at your strike price, which means you're kind of in the money and your contract is expiring, you're actually going to see more gains closer to expiration date. So theta decay is something that's very important to understand as well. Alan says CleanSpark calls are printing. That's amazing. I'm trimming CleanSpark and PayPal for Google. Really? Huh. That's an interesting one. I don't know if I would trim CleanSpark and pay for Google. Google at 139, I think. Google at 147. I don't know if that's the move. I would like to know your logic there on that, Mark. Why was CleanSpark and PayPal for Google? CleanSpark, well, I guess if you have a good average on CleanSpark, then maybe you have some gains there. PayPal, you probably just lost faith. But I don't know if Google is the play right now. See, that's why I bought the Google dip last week, dude, because I know the Google dip was stupid. I think PayPal is going to end up doing what Google does, dude. Google was basically down 10%, and now it's back to normal. It's like $3 away from where it was before earnings, because the market was like, yeah, this was stupid. Like, you know, like the market's like a teenage kid. You know how you have to discipline your teenage kid? They do some stupid stuff, and you're a parent, and you're just like, you know, that was stupid, right? And at one point, your teenager has to be like, yeah, that was stupid, you know? And like, and as a parent, you're just like, yeah, you know, that was stupid. The market, when it reacts like this, like they also realize when they're stupid, and Google 139 was stupid. So PayPal, I think 56 is going to be stupid, dude. It's going to be dumb. I think it'll be okay. Okay, so that's why you're going to Google, because CleanSpark miners are 70% of your portfolio. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I would understand it. All right, so Palantir, we're still seeing some downside momentum. 2374. It's got to break through 24 and maintain it. So we weren't able to hold 24 yet. That was the problem so far. We weren't able to actually hold 24. And that is why we're seeing Palantir struggle to try to keep momentum higher. Let's hear from Gene Munster. Let's get his updates. He's big on Apple, Meta, and Google, and he's very big on Apple. Here's 2 minutes on his thoughts on what's going on in AI right now, and then we'll get back to Palantir.
Get the Magnificent Seven. Our next guest calls Apple, Meta, and Google the three AI amigos. Joining us right now to tell us why, we want to welcome Deepwater Asset Management's Gene Munster. Gene, why these three?
Becky, the reason is that they have the biggest upside potential relative to where expectations are. When you think about the AI opportunity, think of a dumbbell, mega cap has an impact, and then that late stage private has a secondary positive impact. But on those mega caps, those three I think are largely unappreciated. I just want to start with Meta. I think it's the biggest AI opportunity that's misunderstood. Most investors understand that Meta is using AI to improve ad campaigns, ad attribution, improve engagement with new products like Emu and Meta Chat, also the celebrity bots. All that is impacting engagement and really what powered the upside to expectations for the March quarter. All that is good. All that should lead the way for Meta to grow their business by 50% over the next 2 years. But there is a significant underappreciated lever that could take this into just a whole different atmosphere. And this theory comes from Deepwater's Doug Clinton. I know you know Doug. He believes that ultimately they will monetize Llama. Llama is just taking a step back. It's an open source model. The other foundation models, that being Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, they're all closed. Llama has 30 million downloads. If they monetize this, they will likely announce some sort of a cloud infrastructure. We're probably a few ways away, get into the same AWS, Azure, Google.
Wow. He thinks Meta is going to compete with the hyperscalers. That's actually interesting. We'll let him finish up for 10 seconds and then go from there.
Google Cloud type of business. That is a new, whole new shift and new benefit to Meta.
Gene, we're almost out of time. I've only got about 30 seconds. Why Apple? Because that's the one that I think may be most underappreciated.
Apple's going to come out with their own foundation model, likely in June, and they're going to allow this to do
Okay, so we'll talk about the Apple model later, and let's move on to ARM. But that's exciting. The idea that Meta could monetize Llama, dude, that would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible if they could end up monetizing Llama, and if they could become a cloud computing play. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. It's a hell of a theory. It's a very exciting thing to talk about, but it's one of those things that I don't know. I would be a little. That's one where I would be surprised if they end up doing that. Okay, we got ARM right now is up 55%. I'm gonna pull up the ARM numbers. Okay, we got to pull up the ARM numbers and get some coverage on ARM. Try to understand why the hell this thing is actually doing what it's doing, because it doesn't make that much sense. This was a company that IPO'd at $51 in September of 2023. And right now it is up 55% in one day. You know, Palantir is 40% run in 2 days. Doesn't even look that impressive now that ARM's up, 50% in a day. It's absolutely insane. Let me pull up their IR. I want to show you guys. I think the ARM valuation is looking ridiculous. I think it makes absolutely no sense. I will go out on the record and say that. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't care. But this thing looks stupid, dude. It legitimately looks dumb. And anyone buying it right now is absolutely chasing, in my opinion. It just does not feel like this is natural or real. But let's pull up their numbers. I want to show you guys what their numbers look like. Like, their numbers are good, but their numbers weren't some, their numbers were not some crazy thing that's like it deserves to be up this much. Not in my opinion. But let's pull it up. Okay, so here's the results. Here we go. Here are the results we have from ARM right now. ARM is up 55%. 55%. Okay, so this is what we got. We have $824 million in revenue. That's Wow, dude. Their revenue is only up 14% year over year. Why is the stock up 55%? I know they increased guidance, but total revenue, I'm not reading that wrong, right? Total revenue is up 14% year over year. That's not anything crazy. I mean, obviously they have to have some partnerships and deals they probably announced, but that's not insane as I'm looking at that right now. They have a 41% non-GAAP operating margin. Revenue, okay, so this is their highest ever revenue growth, which is impressive, but it's still under 20%. License and other revenue, $354 million, up 18% year over year. Royalty revenue up $470 million. Total revenue, $824 million. This is impressive, but it's not like I mean, Palantir is growing more than ARM in terms of just growth rates. I know they're different companies, but why is the street giving them this multiple? What is going on here? I know ARM is so important. I know it's one of the most pivotal companies in AI. I know they design a lot of stuff for the chips. I understand this is a very important company, but guys, it's 121 billion market cap. They're guiding for they did 800 million in revenue. On a TTM basis, that's about, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, 4 billion in revenue. They're worth 120 billion. This does not make any sense. This makes absolutely no sense, dude. Like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Like, this does not feel real. This is not, I don't even think this is institutional. This has to be something different. What institution is buying it off of these types of numbers? It's the float. That actually is a good reason. Let me check the float. ARM shares outstanding. That actually could be, what's 100 million shares outstanding? No, dude, there's 1 billion shares outstanding. The Yahoo Finance says there's 1 billion shares outstanding. How the hell is it up 50% when there's 1 billion shares outstanding, dude? This makes no sense. Why are you saying 98 million? Yahoo Finance is saying 1 billion. Or is that 98 million like US shares? Because I know this is technically not a United States company. Yeah, look at this. Let me show you right here. Yahoo Finance says 1.03 billion shares outstanding. The float is locked. The float is locked. I mean, I did hear about that today. Yeah, that might be, well, there might be a certain amount of money chasing a locked. So maybe, Palantir, by the way, update on them. Palantir is 2363. If insiders can't sell because there's a lockup, then the float is locked. And that means there's a lot of money only chasing a certain amount of shares. Locked them from IPO. That's what's happening right now. So we've got locked up shares from the IPO. So we have a lower float. SoftBank, yeah, SoftBank is up 18 billion right now, from what I saw on Yahoo, and they've got a lot of money chasing ARM. Now, look, they did increase their guidance to 3.8 billion, up from like 3.3 billion or whatever, which is a great increase in guidance. But I don't think it justifies $100 billion market cap. That's a little tough to see. I don't know, dude. I'm looking at their shareholder letters right now. I'm trying to just get their guidance, the official guidance numbers. Yeah, so here's their guidance. Here you go. Look at this. This is their guidance. So dumb money is pouring in. I don't want to say dumb money pouring in, but it might be money that's not really institutional chasing this thing. 900 million they're guiding for the next quarter. That's great. And then they're guiding, instead of 3 billion, they're going to do 3.2 billion. So they're guiding for another 200 million in revenue, that's not that exciting either. Like, yeah, it's an increase in guidance. That's great. But I just don't think these are numbers that warrant a $40 billion increase in market cap. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know a lot of times people say the numbers don't make any sense, but this time the numbers actually don't make any sense, dude. Like, this time it actually doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I know it's the famous last words and then it moons, but it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. ARM is up 54% today. Oh boy, that's well, I mean, look, I don't really go short or buy puts, but if there was any company I think I would buy puts on, I think it would be fucking ARM, dude. This is ridiculous. But the problem is the semis rally is just going up and up and up. Nvidia's not stopping. Palantir 2363. It seems like 24 momentum pretty much died off. We'll see if it can end up rallying a little bit higher, but that definitely died off right now. Clean Spark is 1011. Robinhood 1127. SMCI is up. Oh my God, SMCI is up again. It's almost at $700. Nvidia is not going down from 700. SMH, that ETF I told you about semis, that's up 200 now. It started the year, I think, at like 165 or something. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So here's the thing. When the lockup period expires, there's going to be a crap ton of selling. So that'll probably tank the stock. But the question is, where will the stock be before that happens? And so I don't know. I've never bought a put before. So I kind of want to buy a put on a company and at least get the experience, even if we lose the money. And it feels like ARM is the time to do it. But I need to know more research about the lockup period when it's happening, because this just doesn't make sense, dude. 123 billion does not make sense for a company that's going to do 3 billion in revenue, dude. Are you kidding me? And that's just revenue. That's not even profits. Like Google did 80 billion in revenue and they got 20 billion in profits, and the street said they're take them down 10%. Like, come on, dude. That's just weird. That's just weird. Wow, Palantir made the cover of Time, guys. So how I showed you there was an article? Palantir actually made the cover of Time magazine. Wow, I didn't know Palantir was the cover of Time magazine. Look at this. Palantir is literally the cover of Time. Talk about some media coverage. Palantir and other tech giants that are building the future of battle in Ukraine. Look at that. Wow. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Did not expect that. Did not expect that. It's Palantir's time. That's true. It's Palantir's time. Okay, let's go back to the charts. 120 right now on ARM. Yeah, this thing just keeps going up and up. Look, here's my thing. I would not chase this. I know a lot of people might feel compelled to chase this. This is one that's just scary to chase, dude. This is one that's just scary to chase. And I don't know. I think it can get tough. It can get tough for ARM here. It's a little, it looks a little butch. Let's hear from Kathy yesterday. She was talking about EVs and Tesla. Let's hear what she has to say. Her thesis on Tesla is continuing to, go higher. So let's hear from her, and then we'll get back to Palantir. Here we go.
More than 30%. Are you worried at all that certain parts of the market are starting to get, or maybe already are, a little bit stretched?
Well, if we're taking a look at the market, if you look at what happened last year, 7% of the index. Wait, let me think about this. I got to think about this, Brian. Most of the returns in the S&P 500 were the Magnificent Seven, or now people are calling them Magnificent Six. Some of those valuations are stretched. But if you think about that, most of the market did not rally last year. I think they were, most of the rest of the market was up only 7%. That's where the 7% number came from. And so we think, and we know from our own stocks, which mostly are not the Magnificent Six, that they have corrected tremendously. They're now starting to show earnings momentum and surprises on the upside, not just from revenue, but also earnings. And we think they have a long way to catch up. We are way below where we were at our peak. Now, maybe we shouldn't have been there, ARKK at 160, but down to 45. We think interest rates clobbered.
This is the first time I've heard Kathy say ARKK should not have been as high as it was. And it's the first time I've heard her say, you got to give us a little bit more credit. Like, she's usually very confident and she kind of doesn't care about the stock of our ETF. This is the first time she's acknowledged, yeah, maybe we got a little too high, but we shouldn't be this low.
Our style.
Yeah.
And we've paid our dues, and now earnings and revenue growth will speak loudly.
Yeah, all the people there in the background, I think they must understand that, and anybody should understand that you're buying into stocks that can be very volatile. The knives have been out, as you've probably seen, people coming out, Morningstar, et cetera. They've come after you. But I would imagine your message to investors is we are investing in some companies that are going to boom wildly and become 10Xers. And there's other companies that may go away because these are the high-tech AI investments. I would imagine that is got to be a clear message to people watching and the people sitting behind you right there, Kathy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're saying that if you get on the right side of change, these companies will deliver super exponential growth. What does that mean? It means not only rapid growth sustained, but an acceleration in growth. For example, Tesla is going through a lull right now related to the cycle. But when autonomous taxi networks, platforms kick in, as we think they will within the next 2 years, I will say, then what we're talking about with Tesla is a reacceleration in growth and a huge increase in margins because robo-taxi platforms are SaaS models, software as a service models. We have a lot of stories like that in our portfolio, and they are highly misunderstood.
Yeah, truly. And a company that feels like some are starting to understand it less lately, Kathy, is, of course, Tesla. It's not performing, and it feels like everybody everywhere is going after Elon Musk all the time. It is your second biggest holding. Are you holding on, and how should investors view Tesla right now?
Yes, well, we report our trades every day, and you will see that we have been buying Tesla. There is so much negative psychology in the stock right now around electric vehicles themselves, which we think is misplaced. We think electric vehicles are going to continue to gain share and really take over the market in the next 5 years. EVs, we think, will be the bulk of the market in the next 5 years. So, and then beyond that, robo-taxis are going to change the landscape entirely. So our target price.
It sounds so bad, dude. It sounds like a kid who's trying to convince you that like the earth is flat. Like it's just robo-taxis. And I don't know why she's doing it with all this noise in the background. This is a mess. This is a mess.
In published target price, which is going to change, is roughly $2,000. The stock is a little below $200. So we're talking about a 10x in our base case, and that's not even our bull case.
Now, look, I think she's actually right about that price target long term. You might be surprised I say that. I think she's right because the bot, I've been doing a lot more research on bots. I think she's right about that. I think the bot's going to get them there. I really do. It's going to be 10, 15 years. I think it'll get them there. But in the short term, no one gives a shit, dude. Everyone wants to know why this car business and Elon tweeting all day about conspiracy theories. Like that's what people care about, right? So right now it looks pretty bad. Kathy's buying. She's buying a lot of Tesla. I think Tesla is definitely going to buy the dip opportunity. It's just a lot of short-term headwinds. Palantir 23.63 right now on Palantir. So we obviously got that $24 sell-off. We'll see how it rebounds from there. PayPal, how bad is PayPal? Down 10%. Here's my thing. I think PayPal is going to rebound the same way Google rebounded. And apparently we've got our good friend Jesse who just bought more PayPal. He just bought more. Here's what he just tweeted right now. He's going even further in. He already had $400,000 into PayPal options and stock. Today, he said, I'm either going to be like Roaring Kitty or that one guy that went crazy, trading PayPal. Now, he bought 300 more contracts for PayPal. And then 400 new shares. So, I mean, I'll tell you right now how much he spent. We'll do the math right here. 100 times 40 plus 2,000 plus 2,000 plus this plus this plus. He basically spent 35 grand. He spent 35 grand today buying more PayPal. So he's going down with the ship, or he's going to seem like a legend when PayPal recovers. But he's going to keep his eyes on PayPal every day until, like, when you got that much money in PayPal, you're not going to stop thinking about PayPal for a while. 56.67. Look, I honestly think that's a good buy because, in my opinion, this company does not deserve to be at this price. I don't think ARM deserves to be at 120. I don't think PayPal deserves to be at 56. So we'll see what happens, but I would rather you buy something that's that undervalued versus chase ARM. And Jesse's, kind of the guy who tends to pick the undervalued versus being the chaser. And so that's what he's doing. Tesla says, I sold PayPal at open 7% down, made a 5% profit on it, started a new position at 56 and spread the rest out across growth stocks where I expect to create better returns than 5%. That's actually not a bad return. That's actually pretty good. That's actually a nice play you did in the morning. You were acting like a hedge fund manager this morning and doing what you had to do. Amit, any thoughts on Rivian with R2 announcement event on March 2nd or March 7th, Model 3 announcement? I don't really follow Rivian that much. I probably should look deeper into them. They're at 1546. Look, if I'm buying anything in the EV sector, I'm buying Tesla. I'm not buying NIO. I'm not buying Rivian. I know a lot of people love Rivian. The cars are actually amazing. But if you're going to take a risk with betting against the automotive industry on something new to upend it, to me, it would be Tesla, even with all the eccentricities of Musk. And because you're getting so many more businesses inside of Tesla. Like Tesla is going to be just like one of the most phenomenal companies. It already is. But in the next 10 years, when we are in the cusp of what AI is, when interest rates come down, it's just obvious what's going to happen to Tesla. So to me, if I had dollars to dedicate to EVs, it would be to Tesla. It wouldn't be to Rivian. So no real thoughts on it, but I do like Tesla more than Rivian. Are you really still streaming? Yeah, we're going to end it, dude. We're not going to go for 9 hours today. I got so much work to do on other stuff. Palantir seems to be chilling out at 23.72. Let's give it a little bit more time though. Let's see if it can find its way through the peaks and valleys back to 24. We'll see. But it's definitely sold off at that 24 range. And it's taken a breather. It's taken a little breather right now. Amazon is going to hold up Rivian. Does Amazon still have their Rivian deal or no? They still have it, right? They still buy their EVs from Rivian. That didn't go away or anything, right? I think they sold their equity stake in Rivian, or am I wrong about that? Some companies sold their equity stake in Rivian. I feel like it was Amazon, but they're still buying from Rivian, I believe. If you want to invest in Rivian indirectly, buy Amazon. Okay. How do you think Trump will affect EV demand? I don't think Trump's going to have a big effect, dude. Everyone's like Trump's anti-EVs. Yeah, he just says that because his base doesn't care about EVs. But I don't think he's actually anti-EVs, dude. Trump just says whatever he needs to say. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll make sure the car companies do well. He'll make sure EVs are fine. Unless he gets rid of all those subsidies, but I think he's smarter than doing that, in my opinion. So I don't think that's going to have a massive impact, but maybe I could be wrong. They have Rivian stock. Okay, so Amazon does own Rivian. Where's Amazon, by the way? Where's Meta? We haven't looked at these guys. Meta's basically at the pump. Meta was at the same pump price they were at before, and then Amazon from earnings, 171. So Amazon's a little bit higher than it was. That's not bad. CleanSpark's up 10% officially. Okay. So CLSK, they've got earnings today. I think we should stream their earnings, dude. I actually want to hear their earnings. I want to hear what they have to say. Let's see what they got to talk about today. Yeah. So we got green. And then where's ARM? Is ARM still being stupid? Is ARM still costing the shorts an arm and a leg? This is where I need the button. So I need the button to have the laughing track. So when you guys aren't laughing, at least I know someone's laughing. And even the fake laughter is worth the laughing. 122.08 on ARM, 58%. SoFi is up a little bit. Bitcoin ETFs are up 3%. PayPal is down almost 11% now. Robinhood's up almost 3%. Coinbase is up 8%. SMCI is up 1%. Nvidia is 704. Confluence up 30%. Let's pull up Confluence numbers real quick, because this is a company I don't study too often, but I would really be curious. Confluent IR. What did they do to get 30% gains? What did they pull up? What did they say? Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this real quick. Has Palantir got any price target? Yeah, they've gotten price target upgrades across the board, except from Rishi from RBC. He still has a $5 price target, but everybody else raised them to close to basically $20 to $24. JP Morgan's the lowest at $12, but outside of that, that's good. Okay, Confluent's fourth quarter revenue is up 26% year over year. Total revenue is up 33% year over year. So they're doing 33% revenue growth year over year. That's amazing. Subscription growth 36% year over year. Cloud revenues up 46% year over year. They have 1,200 customers with 100,000 or greater in ARR. That's up 21% year over year. So this is a SaaS business worth $7 billion. They did $700 million in revenue. So they trade at a little bit above 7 times revenue on their market cap, which is not too bad. And then for first quarter, they expect $212 million in revenue. Full year, they expect 900. They expect about $1 billion in revenue full year. That's not bad. That's not too bad. Confluent right now, market cap of $9 billion. So they added, I think, about $1 billion in market cap today. Yeah, I don't know this business too well. I know it's in the cloud space. I know it's in the SaaS space, but those are some pretty impressive growth numbers, and they should be growing that much. I mean, they're a small company, right? At 9 billion. I know it's not small, but it's smaller than other SaaS companies. They should be growing that much. So that's not bad. Seeing Confluent get there. That's not bad. Where's Palantir now? Where's Palantir? Palantir at 23.76. Palantir, on the other hand, is going to do 2.7 billion in revenue, and they're worth 51 billion in market cap. Any thoughts on a Super Bowl ad from Palantir? I don't think they're doing a Super Bowl ad. That would be kind of weird. I mean, I just wouldn't want them to spend $7 million for 30 seconds. Unless there's direct conversion. Like Coinbase, dude, Coinbase had the best Super Bowl ad last year. All they had was a QR code. And to me, when all you have is a QR code, everyone's like, well, what's the QR code? And when you scanned it, it took you to the App Store. That was smart. But I don't think Palantir would be that, good on a Super Bowl commercial. I'd rather them do what the stuff they're doing right now and, the different sectors they're operating in. So what's your price target for Palantir? Dude, my price target was publicly, I said by the end of the year, they can get to $23. I've publicly said that. Well, we're not at the end of the year. We are at February and $23.79. We have surpassed my price target. My price target was, look at my price target. I gave my price target when we were at $16. My price target was pretty optimistic, assuming we would go up 40% in a year, which is a lot, and we would be at a $50 billion market cap. We have done that in 2 days, folks, which is kind of scary, but it's also kind of exciting. And I think eventually the market will determine if it's scary or if it's exciting. So we're going to see. Chiefs or Niners this Sunday. Dude, I forgot that the football thing was this Sunday. The football thing, the Super Bowl. I'd probably go Chiefs. I think Mahomes is a legend. And, the NFL is going to rig it for Taylor Swift. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say the NFL was going to rig it for Taylor Swift. But someone said that, but it wasn't me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually kidding. I don't follow football that much, but I think Mahomes is a beast. He's going to win. Mahomes is the guy, So if anyone were to win, I would expect Mahomes. Okay, Palantir 2390, making a little bit of momentum. Derek says Niners. Well, Derek, you're from California. Of course you're going to go with the Niners, dude. But you think I'm going to bet against Mahomes? You think I'm going to bet against Travis Kelce? You think I'm going to bet against the fucking Swifties, dude? Now, let me say this. The NFL wants, what's his name? The Chiefs to win, okay? Just like the NBA wanted the Lakers so badly to beat the Nuggets last year, but they ended up losing in the Western Conference Finals. Like the NFL, Adam Silver would have done very, let's just say naughty and ruthless things in order to make sure the Lakers won. But the Lakers were so bad that they got swept, right? They got swept. Yeah, I think they won one game. But Roger Goodell does not want the Niners to win the Super Bowl. The reason they don't want them to win this Super Bowl, let's bet 100. All right, Derek, we're betting $100 on the line. $100 versus Niners versus Chiefs. Derek's pretty good at bets, so I'm afraid to do this because he's probably going to win this shit now. But Roger Goodell does not want the Niners to win the Super Bowl. He wants Taylor Swift making out with Travis Kelce as they win the Super Bowl, 24-17, and he wants Mahomes to win his third championship in like 4 years or something. That's what the NFL wants. And I think the NFL is going to get it. I think they will. Why am I saying this? I don't know, but I at the end of the day, Mahomes, I think, is a legend, and I think he'll win. All right, Derek, it's done. It's a deal. After Super Bowl, that Monday morning, Derek, make sure you're in the live stream. What is it? It'll be February 12th. February 12th, one of us is going to have to Venmo each other $100 on what happened. And I think, regardless of Mahomes, the NFL does not want the Swifties to be upset. Think about it. Who just won the Grammy for Album of the Year? Taylor Swift. Who just announced the new album? That, by the way, let me show you guys her tweet. Her tweet has like how many views? It's insane, dude. Who just announced a new album? Taylor Swift. Whose boyfriend just won the Super Bowl? We're probably going to say Taylor Swift. That's probably what's going to happen. Look at how many views she got on her album. 88 million. It's called the Tortured Poets Department. First of all, goodness gracious. The most teenage 13-year-old title you could pick for an album, the Tortured Poets Department. I mean, give me a break. But that's what she named it, okay? And so let's just say I don't think the Chiefs are going to be the tortured football players, because I think the NFL's going to get them this W, dude. I think it's going to happen. Derek, he just gave another freaking 50 memberships. Thank you, Derek, for this. This is like the 20th time he's given 50 gifted memberships. Derek, you don't have to do this, but thank you so much. For anyone who wants to claim it, all you have to do is click his comment and you get a membership. There's nothing extra you get if you join the channel. It's $5 a month. It's literally just to support. I don't do any extra content. I do all my content for free. There's no paywall. So it's literally just to support. So he's basically giving you a free month of membership on me. And then if you want to choose to be a member again, you can. So thank you, Derek. He's very, very nice. But I don't know if you're going to win this bet, dude. I don't know. I think the Swifties are very, very, let's just say they're very powerful. Derek's Twitter is in the chat if anyone wants to check him out. This is his Twitter. Again, the guy's a rock star, absolute legend. You guys are probably getting tired of me saying this, but multiple exits, investor, entrepreneur. Like, this guy's just a gem of a human being, in my opinion. So if you want to follow him out, follow out his journey, he is on Twitter. You can follow him there. All right, 23.91 on Palantir. We're up 1.31% on the day. The question is, Amit, do you end the live stream when we're 8 cents away from 24? Or Amit, do you keep it going because we're 8 cents away from 24? I think we know what we got to do, folks. I'm pulling up my Robinhood and I'm getting ready to buy another share. I'm getting ready to buy another share of Palantir. Here we go, folks. We got it loaded up. We got to do what we got to do because Palantir's running. And this entire channel for 2 years has been about Palantir. So when Palantir's running, why the hell would we stop going when Palantir's running? 23.90. We got it loaded up. Let me switch the camera. Okay, boom. So there you go. I'm going to launch at 23.95. 23.95 will do it. 23.95 will do it. 23.95 we're doing it. Adam says, no way you're going all day again. Okay, probably not all day. Even though there's part of me, dude, that wants to do it just to say we fucking did it twice. Probably not all day. But I mean, if Palantir is this close. All right, 23.95. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Here we go. I did it. 23.94 executed. Let's see if the one share gives us the nudgy nudge again. It needs to give the nudgy nudge. We gave a decent nudge last time. We need to give the nudgy nudge. There we go. 24 again. 2 times in the past 2 hours, baby. The one share gets the job done. Now, I don't know if it's going to hold 24, but the one share always gets us to where we need to go. And now we just got to break through it again. Now we just got to break through it again. How does the gift work? I think you click on his comment and then it just gives you the membership. You can claim it. And then you just get to be a member for, I mean, you don't get anything extra. You just get $5 on Derek, basically. That's what you get. So yeah, that's what you get to do. Yeah, if you click on his gifted membership thing, I think it just allows you the option to then become a member. 24, there we go. 24. Kobe era. We did MJ. It was fun, MJ. It was great. Unfortunately, you were gambling in Atlantic City 2 days before the playoffs. And you know what, MJ? You got to take a break. Because we're going with the guy that's up at 4 a.m., that does 300 shots, and that does another 300 shots, that is going to make you feel like you don't work hard enough. We're going with Kobe mother effing Bryant Mamba mentality, okay? That's where we're going for 24. And yes, it renews in 30 days. So in 30 days, you can pick to renew, and you can continue to be a member of the channel if you want to keep supporting. So thank you again, Derek, for putting out those memberships, and that's how it works. I am here from Korea. I love it. Let's do this. Let's do a where you at check. That maybe we should call this segment where you at. Let's do a where you at check. So put in the chat where you at, where are you watching from, and also what are you doing while you're watching? Are you at work? Are you with your kids? Are you at the bar? Am I in your headphones and you're trying to be super discreet? Are you high right now? You know, I remember being in college, dude. I remember I went to class once and I had a little bit of the substance before going into class, and it was the craziest experience. This professor was yapping, and I was just like thinking about like strawberries dancing on a rainbow. It was the coolest thing ever. So I had my days. I don't do that anymore. I haven't done it in years. I don't like, that's not, but in college, it was very fun. And so where are you at right now? What are you doing? How are you enjoying the stream? What are you eating? What are you drinking along the way? Let's see. Palantir still $23.99. We'll see if we can get to 24. We got Ottawa, Canada in the house from Sitar, Brunei from Ada, Canada from Ali, Hong Kong from Dom. I love it. Alabama from Doug C. Oh, Alabama from Doug C. Dude, I'm 24 is making me delusional. Doug C from Alabama, not Alabama from Doug C. But that would be pretty cool if your name was Alabama and there was a place called Doug C. Baby duty, work from home. I love it. South Korea getting ready to sleep. Dude, that's insane. How far is South Korea from New Jersey? Flights to South Korea. I'm about to check that right now. How far are you from South Korea? I want to just 15 hours, dude. It would take me 15 hours to fly to South Korea. And because of YouTube, you're watching this now, and Palantir is at 24. And the one reason you're watching this is because you have a mutual interest like me over Palantir. That is the beauty of the internet. That is the beauty of community building. And that's the beauty of the fact that we have this community. It's just amazing, dude. It's so awesome. Sonny's in California. He's driving. We got someone at Costco. I love it. Make sure you pick up a $1.99 pepperoni pizza or the $1.50 hot dog and soda. Those, you can't go wrong with those. Listening while at the gym. Japan, Singapore. We got Florida. We got Chris, who smokes weed every day. That's amazing. I'm glad you enjoy. We got June, San Diego on the bed with her laptop. Carl's in England. This is his day off. What else do we got? We got Mark drinking cold coffee. We got Greatness in Indiana on the couch. Singapore. We got someone in Vegas. I love it. I love Vegas. Got a lot of good memories from Vegas. One day I'll go. Oh my goodness. I just got a text message, and I'm not going to say what the text message is, but I just got a text message. And let's just say some people are crazy, but that's a text message that I got. Let's just say some people are freaking crazy. We got Thailand. We got Boston. Quarantine Quartet. Now I'm working out with Amit with these extended live streams. If you haven't checked out Quarantined Quartet's channel, this has been someone who's subscribed since we were at like 50 subs, and his entire family is a quartet. During the pandemic, they started making videos where they they play the guitar and stuff. They do like millions of views on Instagram, dude. I'm addicted to their videos. Absolutely amazing channel. Shout out to them. Look them up on Instagram. Great. Or if you want to put the link in the chat, Quarantine, you can put it in the chat. Super, super fun channel. And they're also part of this community. It's so cool. We got Germany, Switzerland, Oregon, Ireland. If you have a Palantir average at $12 and you're in Dublin, Ireland, you don't need to be in Dublin to doubling your money from 12 to 24, because that is a doubling of your capital. That's what I'm talking about. $24 on Palantir, not slowing down, 24.03. Now we just have to maintain this $24 level. Nicholas says sitting in his classroom. I love it. You got your headphones on. The professor doesn't know you're watching. Dude, those are some of the best moments. Like, I remember I was watching the Lakers game back in 2019 when LeBron joined the Lakers. I was just in the back of the class and I was just like chilling, dude. The dude was talking. He wasn't a bad professor, but he just wasn't that interesting. And I was watching the Lakers. I was like, let's see if LeBron can win. Italy in the chat. I love it. We got Omaha, Nebraska. That's awesome. Same state as Amit. Yup. New Jersey. Romania. Wow. Andrew Tate world. We got Andrew Tate's world here. China, now in North Carolina doing cardio at the gym. Dude, that's so crazy. Desmond says, I went to bed last night while you were streaming. I woke up and surprised to see you. Thought it's a closing stream, but then realized you were live for 9 freaking hours. Epic, bro. Yeah, dude, yesterday was fun. Yesterday was so much fun. It would have been way more fun if PayPal actually did what it needed to do, but it was fun. Do you guys want to watch the PayPal reaction again? Do you guys want to see that as we're seeing Palantir 24? Maybe there's some people who haven't seen the PayPal reaction. For those that don't know, let's look at it. I went viral on Wall Street Bets yesterday. And I didn't ever expect in my life to go viral on Wall Street Bets, but I went viral on Wall Street Bets out of all places. We got India in the house. I love it. So I posted a video on my Twitter of my reaction on PayPal when it went up 10%, then fell down. This thing has 261 comments. And I mean, it has a lot of engagement. It was front page of Wall Street Bets last night. Wow. It keeps going. There's 40 more replies. Look at this. I'm not even going to read the comments because Reddit is toxic and Wall Street Bets is even more toxic. So I haven't posted on Reddit I'm not even showing you guys. Sorry. Share this tab. Here it is. I haven't, Reddit's just a toxic place. So when they IPO, I really am not interested in the stock unless the valuation gets really good, because this is the most toxic place in the world. The advertisers are targeting people that are toxic. Like, it's just not a good spot on the internet. It's like one deviation away from 4chan, quite frankly. So I'm not a big fan of Reddit. I've noticed that the Palantir community on Reddit sucks. It's just, there's a bunch of toxic people. Twitter is so much better. YouTube's so much better. But hey, eyes are eyes. And if people want to, people want to give me some more media coverage, I'll take it. That's great. So we went viral on Reddit, which is awesome. Amit, you're calling Wall Street Bets degenerates, yet you're the one trending on Wall Street Bets. So let me make this very clear. By the way, Palantir's still at 24. I did not go crazy in that reaction for AMC going up 10%, or for GameStop going up 10%, or for some stupid meme stock going up 10%. I went crazy because a company at 2017 levels that is probably going to have a meta-like rebound, even if it's not a 5x, but at least a 1x or 2x, in my opinion, finally was acknowledged by the market when they beat on EPS, they beat on revenue, transactions margins went up, and they announced a $5 billion buyback. I was a little excited it was up 10%. So for all of the people on Wall Street Bets that are like, oh, these two guys are degenerates, I don't think they realize that we were reacting to PayPal, which is one of the most deep value plays in the market going up, not freaking AMC. So to me, I actually thought going viral for that was a good reason to go viral versus, oh my God, GameStop went up. It's like that. Yeah, then you're a degenerate, but it is what it is. It'll be fun though, dude. I like going viral. I mean, this is fun, dude. This is media. This is the internet. This is coverage. This is more. I got some followers on Twitter last night because of that Reddit thing. Like, this is cool. This is what I want. This is how we're building the media empire that one day hopefully we'll be able to build. And we got to start with these moments and see how it keeps going from there. The good thing is, though, guys, when I decided to start my channel, I picked a stock that I not only cared about, but I believed the world one day would care about, which is Palantir. And that's the fun part about this journey. Could have picked Neo, could have picked fucking Alibaba. I've seen some of those channels. Could have picked Tesla, but Tesla's story played out already, right? Like, now it's not that fun. I picked Palantir, quite frankly, because of CARP. And second of all, you guys want to know the real reason I picked Palantir? The real reason, in November of 2021, when I was reading through their website, they had a word that described what their software was. That word was ontology. I studied philosophy in high school, and I was one of the best debaters in the country. You have to learn a lot of philosophy to study. Ontology was one of the first things I studied, Palantir 2410. Ontology is defined as the state of being. If you study Immanuel Kant and do Philosophy 101, you're going to learn about what it means to make an ontological argument for the existence of God. Like, ontology is so important. So when I saw Palantir say our software is the ontology for an organization, I swear to God, I was like, this is really cool, you know? And then I remember one of the first videos I made back in November 2021 was an explanation of it. Now, did I know what the ontology of an organization meant? I had no idea. But I did two things. I pieced together ontology is the state of being, and then they're saying your data is your ontology. So I was like, oh, Palantir is trying to make sure they understand how you can operate your data because your data is the state of being for your organization. And that video ended up doing really well because a lot of people were like, I never thought about it like that. And that was one of the first videos where people were like, oh, I think this guy can explain stuff really well. Now, I barely knew anything about Palantir at the time. I had a lot to learn, but that was the reason I got excited about the company. And when you look at it metaphorically, it's like, wait a second, they have always been one of the most philosophical companies in the world when they think about enterprise software, data, Western values, et cetera. And then it just kept compounding. And I was like, this is a company where maybe we can build some content around. And that's how it ended up playing out. Okay, cool. So Palantir 2410, let's look at that clip. You guys are saying to play the clip. So let me play the clip right now. And you guys can see that exact moment. I'm actually going to play it from the YouTube live stream so you guys can see it in HD. And you can see that moment. It was a fun moment, but it was also like, it was tough. It was tough. We had to deal with it. So here is the PayPal moment. We're gonna stream to it right now, and then we'll get there. Palantir still maintaining 24, which is awesome. So we'll keep an update on that, and we'll keep going. Okay, so PayPal. This is when we got the results. Same feeling we have. We got to get through this one. But this is what you do if you're an investor. I think it's gonna go well. Okay, yeah, this is where it starts. I think it's going to go well. So this is where the end of it starts. All right, here we go. I think it'll be okay. I don't have a Bloomberg terminal. I'm sorry. I don't have $25,000 a year yet to spend on that. We'll get there eventually.
3% up. 3%. 3%.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
It's popping.
Holy crap.
4%. 5%.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. 6%. 6%. Holy crap. Oh, it's 67. I'm trying to get the numbers.
7.5%.
Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Green candle is going to go pop up right now, bro. 8.5%. 8.5%.
What did they announce?
9%.
I'm trying to get this great. They had to announce something, dude.
9.3%.
10%.
9.5%. 10%.
10%. 10%. Okay, so we got Andrew. They beat revenue by about 40 million. Okay, so we got that number. Okay, here we go. They beat EPS by about 15 cents. I got it. They beat revenue by about 130 million. So there you go. You got to beat on the EPS and you got to beat on the revenue. You got to beat on the EPS, you got to beat on the revenue. And then the guidance numbers should be coming in very soon, and then the street will be able to react to that as well. Oh, we got to ring the bell for this, Adam.
Bro, it's going back down. Now it's even. People are not liking it. Now it's down. Down. What the fuck? Down 5%?
How the fuck is this happening?
Bro, I have no idea.
You know the Joker? You know the Joker in The Dark Knight where he just starts laughing and then Batman keeps punching him and he keeps punching him and he just keeps laughing because all you can do is laugh?
Bro,
okay, now it's okay. Now it's only down 1%. There's no way. There's no fucking way, dude. What number did the street get so upset? Now it's green. Now it's back to being green.
I am shocked. They beat. That's the first time they actually had a decent beat.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I'm watching it again, that's like a clip that should go down in Wall Street Bets history, dude. Like, and the reason it should go down in history, not only was the reaction hilarious, but it was on PayPal. It wasn't on a meme stock, right? Like on a meme stock, you're like, oh, those guys deserve to have it go up and down. You don't deserve it on PayPal, which is why it feels so much worse, dude. But it was so fun. When Adam said, what the fuck, dude, when he said it, I died. Like that. And also, if you saw Adam's face, his jaw dropped because we went down 1%. But I was like, Adam, we got to ring the bell. And so Adam couldn't stop me from ringing the bell because I was ready to ring the bell. But I didn't see that we were already down 1%. So as soon as I put the bell down, Adam was like, we're down 1%. And then it was just like, oh boy, why did I ring the bell? Dude, the comments on Wall Street Bets were like, this fucking guy ringing the bell. They were making so much fun of that bell. They were like, there's no way he rang the bell for that. That was hilarious. That was great. Now, am I wearing the same thing I wore yesterday? Yes. Because I wake up and I started streaming, okay? Like, I haven't taken a shower yet. We're going to take a shower after this. We will take a shower, but I just didn't get a chance to take a shower yet. So that's it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like, we've been grinding, dude. This is the grind. This is the Palantir earnings week. I'm sorry. Sometimes you're going to miss a day of changing your clothes. 24.10 on Palantir, up 2.1%. We're still holding 24, which is not bad. SoFi 788. PayPal now down 11%, dude. Baba's down 3%. Robinhood's up 2.23%. Nvidia's at 703. Confluence at up 30%. Bitcoin 45,000. Where's ARM? ARM's up 56% still. ARM's up 56%. CleanSpark $10.12. Google 147. Palantir 2409. Palantir 2409. Don't shower. It'll bring down Palantir. Dude, the conspiracy theories now. If I shower and Palantir, dude, all right. If we see Palantir go to 23 today, it's because I showered. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's crazy, dude. That's hilarious. That was funny though, right? Though that was fun. That was a fun reaction. That's what makes the stream fun. Like, and we got to experience that with like 1,800 people, dude. Like, think of the chat during that time. 1,800 people saw us go from, oh my God, to, oh my God. You know, it was fun, dude. That was great. And again, if it was on a meme stock, I would get it. It was on PayPal. PayPal's not a meme stock. PayPal is a company that deserves to be worth at least $100. At least 90 is the fair valuation. ARM's free float is 94 million and the volume today is 64 million, which means they are all swapping all the shares available between each other's hands. Yeah, that's where you're getting the, I guess, you know, pretty big squeeze on ARM. 56%. That'll do it. That'll do it on ARM. Whoever knew what was going to happen to ARM with their share float and how much was locked up for the IPO, if they did a play on ARM. Dude, wait, where are the ARM options? Let me look at the ARM options. People must be up insane right now if they took a bet on ARM. So ARM, let's look at the options, trade options. Let's say February 9th expiration. Yeah, dude. Look at this. Look at this. ARM was what? $70 before earnings. If you bet that ARM would get to $80 or $89, you made 2,000%. You 20x your money in a week if you bought a call that said ARM would get to $89. Now let's go further out. Let's go to January 2025. If you said that by January 2025, ARM would be worth $80, that's it. It was at like 65 2 days ago. You would be up 216%. That is insane, dude. That is insane. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Jamie, I'm using Webull. Webull is the app I'm using to track stocks. Webull. Webull. Not sponsored. It's a good software. It's free. I would use it. Okay, guys, we're getting to that time of the stream where I have to go to the John, and I have to go quickly use the John, and I'll be back. So I'm going to play a video until I'm back from the John, doing what I need to do because I drank a cup of Joe, even though I'm not doing that. I'm doing the number one, not the number two. Going to be quick. What clip should we play here as we're waiting? So we already listened to Kathy. What do we got to hear? I mean, we should probably hear Disney, dude. Disney's doing this new partnership. Let's listen to Bob Iger talk about this. This is 4 minutes. This is more than enough time for me to go use the John. I am not streaming the John, okay? I know you guys feel like we're getting close, and I pretty much share everything with you guys, my portfolio, my life, my relationships, but I'm not streaming the John. And I'm not streaming my search history with you guys. Those are two things I'm going to keep private. All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Well, we should, of course, get to the other big news, which you announced yesterday, this joint venture with Warner Brothers Discovery and with Fox to create new streaming skinny bundle of your linear sports assets. Mm-hmm. Why does it make sense to do this? Are you at all concerned that this could drive accelerated cord cutting or even challenge and cannibalize your Hulu with live TV business?
Look, I think if you're a sports fan if you're a sports league, if you're an advertiser, even if you're a distributor, you want to engage with ESPN in some form. ESPN has always made a promise to sports fans that it will serve them wherever they are, whenever they want. This is clear, and they've done a great job doing that. I think one of the secrets to their success, not a secret, is that they serve the sports fan so well. This is a big step in that direction, to serve the sports fan that has not signed up for the multi-channel linear TV, or that maybe was disenfranchised and didn't want it. This is a way to do that. We've watched for years the decline of basically the linear bundle on cable and satellite. And we've been preparing for a world where that business is not as strong as it used to be. Launching Disney Plus is an example of that. The investments we've made in content, the Fox acquisition, what that did in terms of our ownership of Hulu. All of these things are prepared for us to pivot as well as the world changes, as the world is disrupted. And by the way, I'd rather be a disruptor than to be disrupted. The linear business is still a business that serves us well in that it's profitable for us, and we intend to continue to be in it. We're investing in it in terms of the channels that we own, running them more efficiently, but we're still in that business. But we also have to be mindful of where the consumer is now and where the consumer is going.
But if this
All right. So that was, I was about to say Jamie Dimon. That was Bob Iger talking about, what was Bob Iger talking about? Bob Iger was talking about that new streaming service they're launching. Look, Disney's up because they bought a stake in that Epic Games, which I understand. New streaming service, I don't know if that's going to work out, but it's basically the losers coming together and say, let's go against Netflix, which is okay. Disney Plus might be profitable by the end of the year. They're guiding for that. I'm not excited about Disney. I wouldn't buy Disney, but it's a good quarter for shareholders. It bottomed at 79 in the summer. Now it's at 100. So not too bad for Disney. Okay, so Palantir 2407 right now. We're still maintaining this $24 level for Palantir. PayPal's entering what, 55 range? Where's PayPal? Google's at 147. PayPal's, wow, it's 19 cents away from 55. Yesterday I also said I don't think it can get back to 55. Well, I thought that would be almost 12% down. I was like, I don't think it can go 12% down. It went 12% down. So look, if you've been interested in PayPal and haven't had an opportunity to get in, if there was any time that PayPal is, I mean, look, I'm not selling, but I like PayPal. I don't think it deserves this price. Valuation stupid. Company's not dead. Maybe they might hate out Alex Chris talks on the earnings call, but it doesn't deserve to be at this level. So we'll see what happens. But PayPal's down almost 12%, 11% right now. And maybe it ends up going down some more. Palantir 2415. All right, getting a little momentum, 2% up on the day. The street wants the stock. Could you imagine if 24 becomes support for the next 6 months? Could you imagine if 24 becomes support? That would be crazy, dude. That would be crazy. But Palantir here is at 2418. Let me look at my book volume, see what I'm getting here on Palantir. Okay, so from what I'm seeing, there's 50,000 shares at 2450. So 2450 is going to be a little tough to beat. And then at 25 now, from my book volume, there are 114,000 shares waiting. So it's so crazy, though, that the fact that we're holding 24, dude, people actually are buying it at this price, which is, it's just wild, dude. It's just wild. People are actually buying. I mean, look, I've known Palantir for a long time. I think this price is awesome. I don't know if I would be buying a new position here, but people are buying. People are buying. It's bombastic. Yes, it's literally bombastic. Are you going to stream CleanSpark ER? Yeah, probably will. Probably will for the market close. We'll probably do that one. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a good one. If 24 is support for the next 6 months, Chris is going to lose his $5,000. Yeah, Chris is going to lose his puts. He bet $5,000, and if Palantir gets to 16, he makes $25,000. If Palantir stays above 21, he loses the $5,000. So let's see. Let's see. Look, we're holding, dude. We're holding. It's definitely not getting hit too hard. It's definitely not getting hit too. I mean, it's up on the day. The fact that Palantir's still up on the day is just, I mean, it's really incredible, dude. It's not easy. It's not. That means for the year so far, Palantir is up 42%. That was beyond my expectations, quite frankly. That was beyond my expectations. What does someone say? What are your thoughts on retracement back to 2022 to 22? Amit, do you mind telling us your DCA? It's 15. It's 15. Average is 15. It's like 15.20 or whatever, but it's 15. The retracement to 22, I think, could be a retracement all the way back to 16, quite frankly. I think that could happen. The problem is that every dollar below, you're going to have buyers now. So for those that are waiting for 16 or 17, you're going to have to hope there's a lot more sellers at 23, at 22, at 21, at 19, at 18 than there are buyers. And maybe because it's been a very green week, I don't think there's that many sellers versus buyers. I think there's a lot more buyers than sellers. And if there's a red week, the sentiment will change, like that. But so far, if we fall to 22, that's going to be seen as the dip. And then, so I don't know, retracement to 22 could happen, but retracement to 16 could happen. It's just there's so many people at every level that want to buy some more that it's going to be a little bit harder to do it. Puzzle says, I just bought 5,000 in puts. Is it on Palantir or is it on PayPal? Is it on Palantir or PayPal? Raven Clinique says, where do we think Tesla's going to hit at today? So Tesla, where is Tesla? Oh, wow. Tesla's up. Tesla is up 2%. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, here we got the ARM CEO talking about their Q3 interview. Let's hear from him, and then we'll talk about Tesla. Let's hear from him. Here we go. Here is ARM CEO.
Now, after crushing earnings estimates for a new company, a brilliant new company. So let's have ARM Holdings CEO Rene Haas joining us now for a personal CBC interview. I'm one of the most impressive CEOs I know. He's okay. He's humble. I can say this. I have ever seen. And Rene, first, just have to offer flat out congratulations. How'd you do it?
Thank you, Jim. Really glad to be here. This is a manifestation of strategies that we put in place a number of years ago that are all coming to light that I think are now even accelerated more by AI. We greatly diversified the company into new markets such as data center, automotive, and IoT, which we're now seeing growth from, really from all those segments. And when you compound that with all things AI, which drive the need for more compute, we had some terrific results, and we're feeling really good about the outlook going forward.
There's some great data in your unbelievable deck, page 18. Talk about what have you done since 2016. You were mobile and other. Now it's cloud and networking. It's auto. It's mobile. It's consumer electronics. Well, this means you're in IoT, of course. This means you must be taking share from everybody right now.
We're involved in just about every single market, and every single market is now putting more and more compute into their devices. A lot of folks ask, how can I find an ARM device or chips that have ARM inside it? And it's really just about everything. A Tesla, a Ford F-150, an iPhone, your Samsung TV, your Samsung smart appliance, your Ring camera. All of those are ARM powered. So we are just about everywhere.
Well, speaking of everywhere, you taught me of your relationship with NVIDIA, not just the fact that you work there. And boy, they love you when you talk to people about you. But the fact is that when you get a GPU from NVIDIA, what else do you need that people may not realize that really makes the whole package work?
Yeah, NVIDIA is an amazing partner, as you know, and the most advanced chip on the market, their Grace Hopper, which is a NVIDIA GPU combined with an ARM CPU, is a fantastic combination. Now, every modern computer system, if it has a GPU or any kind of accelerator, it needs a CPU to run the system. So you really can't have any system with a GPU or an accelerator that doesn't have a CPU. So partnering those two ingredients together, the best that ARM does and the best that NVIDIA does, results in a fantastic product.
So, Rene, it's David. Should every time that NVIDIA makes a sale, should we also be ringing the cash register for your company as well?
Well, there's a couple things that you can do there, David. You can kind of do the math. They sell a Grace hopper. That's good for an ARM, a CPU and a GPU. They have a Grace super CPU chip. So that Grace CPU, that's all ARM based. So it's all goodness. But it's not just NVIDIA. We work with just about every major partner in the ecosystem: Samsung, Apple, Qualcomm, NXP, ST, Mercedes. So anytime you see one of those devices get sold, that's going to be good for ARM too.
Yeah, I'm looking at a stock price that's been up as much as 60%, is up 56% right now, Renee. Really remarkable move from a $51, let's remind people, IPO price. I'm curious, though, about your control shareholder at SoftBank. Maybe there's not that large a float. Maybe that's why the thing's going up so much. But any plans there to sell, given this incredible rally?
Well, as you know, David, we talked with Masa that night of the IPO, and he's very happy with ARM, and he's very, very bullish about our long-term prospects. So, he was a net buyer at the IPO, and I think he's very, very long on ARM.
Let's get to Eamon.
Okay, so now, I mean, look, I've always known this about ARM. Obviously, the bull case has been very big for them for a long time. But now that they put up some numbers, the street's very excited, and that's why we're seeing ARM have the momentum it's having. Palantir is at, I clicked on IBIT, and it's at 25.87, and I thought it was Palantir for a second. I was like, oh, well, we're at 25.87. No, Palantir's 24.34, up 3% on the day. So we went down from 24.50 to 23.60, now back at 24.35. Interesting. Interessante. Very, very interesting right now. So we're seeing some nice momentum there. And let's see now just where it can go. Let's see where it can keep going. The website is Webull, guys. It's Webull. 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 It's a free platform you can download and use. 24.36. Okay, so let me look at the book volume on Palantir, and then we'll get some other coverage on some other stocks as we keep going. Palantir right now, book volume, from what I can see, not all the dark pool stuff. There's 50,000 to 24.50, but that's really it. Until then, there's like 5,000, 3,000, 8,000 shares, every cent above 24.40. So as long as there's buyers willing to pay for those shares, they will reach those milestones. But 24.50 is where you need some more help. And then again at 25, we're at 125,000 shares. Smart money is buying. Derek says smart money is buying. Interesting. Smart money is buying. So either it's smart money or it's retail. And given the stock has so much support as it falls down and just immediately gets eaten up, maybe it's not retail. Maybe it's the toots. Maybe the secret's out. Maybe they know it is that it's the thing. And maybe it's just going to keep printing, dude. Or maybe we see a massive sell-off. I don't know. But as of now, Palantir's doing its thing. Derek says zero retail. Retail owns in teens. Well, dude, here's the thing. If it's not retail, if it's fucking toots, then this thing's not stopping if it's smart money. I mean, it'll probably have some pullbacks here and there, but it's could you imagine if we never see below 20 again on Palantir ever? Like ever? That would be crazy. Derek says it's Wall Street. I don't want it to stop. No, I'm just here's the bull and the bear case. The bull case for them to keep going is like, yes, Palantir keeps going. The bear case is at some point it becomes meme-ish, right? Like if this thing hits $30, it's probably not worth $30, right? Like we can all be objective here and say that. I mean, Carp would tell you that it's not worth 30. Carp would tell you it's not worth 24 right now. But and then the higher the upside, the harder the crash is what happens. But if the street basically says, you know what, we think it's worth 20 to 22, And that's where support becomes, I wouldn't be upset about that. I would rather have it happen in a slower pace because I'm trying to cover this company for years, not for 1 month and then it collapses and everyone's upset. Like psychologically, you don't want people to buy in at the top and then it randomly to collapse. You want to give people time to let it develop, So I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes. Derek Wall Street. Derek, last name is Wall Street. Oh, 2440. All right. So we're making some progress here. 3.47%. 2445. 2445, 2447. Who wants 2447? Who wants 2448? I've got one share for 2448. Who wants 2448? All right, 2449, 2449. Who wants 2449? I've got someone for 2449. Back to 2446. Now 2447. Who wants 2447? I've got 2450 just around the corner. If you want 2447, 2445. Now 2440, 2442, 2441, 2442 on the day. 2443, 2444. Dude, I could do that all day. I could literally do that all day. I wouldn't stop, dude. I could keep going. That was fun. Amitsu, at what price would you buy more? Not 24.45. I mean, I bought more yesterday. You guys saw me buying shares at 23 just for fun. But I don't know, dude. I wouldn't. I don't know. This is the hard part about doing this thing. It's like, I don't know if I want to buy it at 24 bucks. I don't know. It's a lot. This man is watching the ticker like a crypto boy. Yeah, that's literally what's happening. It's kind of like an auction, right? Because you're saying, all right, I have this asset at $24.43. You say the price, and then someone says, I'll do $24.44. So then you have to repeat what they said, and then you ask, all right, I've got $24.44. Does anyone want $24.45? Because if someone outbids them, then that person has to go away. You give it to the new person. So the stock market is literally like an auction, and you just need an auctioneer. And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't know when I was little I would grow up to be an auctioneer. But it seems like I'm an auctioneer. Cliff said sold 40% of my position. Yo, where are my options, dude? They have to be printing now. These options have to be printing more than they were yesterday. Come on, bro. Damn, they're barely up. They're only up 57%. That's something that should be on Wall Street Bets. Guy complains he's only up 57%. They're only up 57%, dude. These shits should be up more. This was yesterday's gains. I want today's gains. Yesterday, we were up 57%. I want to be up 100% now, dude. Give me the real gains. Give me the gains without having to go to the gym. Yeah, it's still that wall at 2450. 50,000 shares is still there at 2450. 51,000. So it's a small wall, but it is indeed a wall. And that's what retail is going to have to overcome, or the street's going to have to overcome. Where's PayPal? PayPal's 56. PayPal's 5 cents away from 59, 55 bucks, dude. It's disgusting. Insane. CleanSpark's up 8%. That's nice. Amazon's up. Meta's up. Palantir 2444. Google 146. The Google Gemini move was brilliant. I thought it was super smart. Robinhood's up 2.5%. Robinhood's our next target, guys. That's the one, at least for me. Next week, baby, it's up 2.5%. Let's get it to 15. Let's see if that can happen. The numbers are there. The valuation is there. All they have to do is Vlad just has to put up the numbers, show the guidance, and the street will reward him. That's it. It's been 22 freaking months of this stock being stuck at $8. It's time. It is time for Robinhood to have its moment. So let's see. Let's see if Robinhood can pull a Palantir. Let's see. Damian Cook, thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. Means the world to me. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Andrew, what's up, bro? Let's go Palantir. F PayPal for not being the cherry on top. Yeah, Andrew has a little bit of a PayPal position, and he has a lot more of a Palantir position. So shout out to Andrew. We both are holding the bag on PayPal right now, and we'll see where it goes. What is the CleanSpark case study? Okay, CleanSpark is really simple. CleanSpark is really simple to me. If you believe Bitcoin is going to get to all-time highs, there are companies that have to mine the Bitcoin from the fancy computers. That takes a lot of computational resources and energy. CleanSpark is a vertically integrated Bitcoin miner that has the cheapest cost, $14,500 to mine Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin keeps going up and their cost keeps going down, which that's like they've just shown that their costs are able to keep going down, their average, their revenue, right, their profit between the price it takes to mine and the price they get the Bitcoin at, keeps going up. And they have the best one in the business. I trust their CEO, Matt Schultz. I interviewed him a year ago. Very smart guy. He sold Bitcoin at the top at 69,000. I mean, that dude is smart. I even called him out on the interview. I was like, so you paper handed? And he started laughing. He was like, well, he basically said, yeah, but he was just like, we saw that the way the, asymmetric risk reversion of the MACD with the Fibonacci sequence, we decided that there was a proper time to reallocate our capital, meaning he paper handed, but he paper handed in a smart way. So I trust a guy who can sell Bitcoin at the top to then build a company to mine that Bitcoin to get it to another top. And so I've got some options on Clean Spark. It's kind of a gamble for me because who knows what happens to Bitcoin, but that's the case study for Bitcoin. No way it's 14,000 to mine one Bitcoin. Yup. It's 14,000. It's 14,700 they pay, but it's the cheapest price they pay to mine it. It's a very expensive, you need a lot of energy. They have a ton of like green resources. They have their factories in Atlanta, Georgia. Like there's a lot of shit that it takes to mine Bitcoin. And obviously that's why, it's tough to do it. But they do it. Dom, I see you in the chat. Dom, if you want to join, I'm putting the StreamYard link in the chat. If you have a minute and want to talk real quick about Palantir, thank you for being here. If you want to give us any thoughts or insights on why we're seeing some of this price action, please make sure to join. Khan says, do you think there is too much volume being traded on Palantir so it's difficult for it to climb higher? Volume is, wow, 107 million. I didn't even see that. No, I don't think it's about volume. I think it's just... I mean, first of all, it's climbed pretty high today, right? It's up 3%. I think the shares outstanding is what makes Palantir hard to naturally go high. Like, dude, there's 2 billion shares. So for it to be up 45% in 3 days means that those 2 billion shares, you need a lot of volume, quite frankly, to get that rolling. But I don't think it's about volume. I think it's about the number of shares, and they have enough people willing to buy the shares, which is why it keeps going up. So that's what we're seeing right now with Palantir. Okay, let me just do one thing. Palantir right now, 24. It's at 24. It's at 24. What price is it? 24. 20. Oh, wow. 24.50. All right, we got it. 24.52. 24.52 on Palantir. 24.52. So, okay, so we just broke through 24.50. There were 50,000 shares waiting there. 24.50. So now we need to make the 24.60 to get to the next level. We need to get to 24.60 to make to the next level. Let's see. Hold on. Let me pull up one thing. I got to get this thing intact. So let me do this. Okay, so let's do this. 24.50. So that means those 50,000 shares, we got through those. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all, quite frankly. Okay, so all right, cool. So 24.49. So now we're struggling here at that 24.49, 24.50 level, and that's what we got to be able to get there. New partnership just hit the news. Partnership with who? Oh, with Palantir? That was out this morning. Unless they had another one. I doubt they had another one come out. Did they? News. Yeah, it's just one partnership. Unless you're talking about the Bloomberg terminal or something like that. New space partnership. What are you talking about? Space partnership with Palantir? Oh, you guys are talking about a new space partnership? It's not on their website. Let me check it out. I'll check it out right now. Space partnership. Oh yeah, we got a new space partnership. Oh shit, we got a new partnership. Oh shit, we got a new partnership. Holy crap. Yeah, folks, we got a new partnership. Voyager and Palantir. Voyager Space and Palantir have made a partnership. Okay. Okay, so let's read through this one. That probably is hitting the terminal right now. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna read through this. Palantir, a memorandum of understanding of Voyager Space, a global leader in space exploration, and teaming with Palantir USG, that's their government business, focused on exploring and enhancing national securities in commercial space domain. This strategic collaboration signifies a major milestone in harnessing the combined expertise of Voyager and Palantir to elevate space domain security. We are thrilled to collaborate with Palantir, exploring a diverse range of technology and applications. As part of the agreement, Voyager and Palantir will explore the integration of Palantir's AI, ML, and edge processing capabilities to support Star Lab station development, manufacturing, and future operations. This alliance represents a shared commitment to advancing future of global commerce. Sham Sankar says the opportunity to partner with Voyager will set the stage for collaboration across the ecosystem of leading technology firms across the mission. Wow. Space. Dude, Palantir has a product called Meta Constellation. We've talked about this for a while. Yeah, now we should really go to the moon. And Meta Constellation is a hell of a product. It uses geospatial intelligence to be able to essentially build up the atmosphere, or essentially give AI edge computing to people that want data without going to a cloud. And that geospatial intelligence gives Palantir the ability to bring very advanced types of data to their clients. For example, when the hurricane is coming up, you need something like Meta Constellation to be able to know where the hurricane is. And so like the, WEF can use that in a different way. On the battlefield, Ukraine is using things like geospatial intelligence. So there was always a relationship between Palantir, satellites, and space. Palantir has another partnership with a company called Satellogic that people probably forgot about. We got that partnership about 7 months ago. So we've been in the space sector for a while, but now it seems like Palantir is expanding in space. I didn't even really know Voyager Space was a company. I thought Voyager, dude, I thought it was the crypto brokerage firm. I didn't I didn't know there was a real company called Voyager Space. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So let's see. Let me pull up some stuff. That's wow. So that's probably another reason we saw the bump to 2450, because maybe that hit the terminal and people were like, "Oh, this is another big partnership. We should take them seriously." At one point, they owned shares in Black Sky. Yeah, they got rid of that one. Hexen, you said another partnership. Hexen, we know. We just went through the other partnership. You just came in a little bit too early. Yes, we just talked about it. Another partnership. Wow, that's really interesting. That's another partnership. Palantir's next generation technology, and it will be everywhere. Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. Seems like it's finally happening. Seems like the street has figured it out. Seems like the street has figured it out. Wow. Wow. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That's what she said. Okay, cool. So let's get I want to play another clip and then we'll get back to Palantir as we're watching the stock. But dude, 24.5 is trying to get there. It beat there once and then it came right back down. Now we just got to see if it can keep going. Wells Fargo just increased their Disney price target to 128. This is what happens. These companies perform and then boom, price targets across the board. Boom, 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 boom. More people with more price targets, more stuff they got to say. And then the street kind of has to. This is what's going to happen with PayPal as well. But that's what ends up happening. Let's listen to Josh Brown talk about the broader market. Here's his thoughts on the market in general, if we're in a bubble, and what he thinks is going on. So let's see what he has to say. Then we'll go back to Palantir.
Take us to our talk of the tape. The state of this rally, whether it's too tech heavy, as some now say, it is actually worse than the bubble of 1999. Let's welcome in Josh Brown, Ritholtz Wealth Management co-founder, CEO, also a CNBC contributor. But let's deal with this market on the cusp of history, something extraordinary, I think, S&P 5,000, given where we were and how fast we've come to the doorstep.
Yeah, and just for fun, I went back and looked at when I first launched my blog in November of 2008. The S&P 500 at that time was like 700. The NASDAQ was 12, the NASDAQ 100, 1,200. The Dow was under 8,000. And look how much has changed between then and now. And the entire way up, there were so many reasons to just give up, throw in the towel. The market's too tech heavy. It's too oil heavy. What about geopolitics? What about the election, Brexit, COVID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the Fed every minute of the day. And the people that stuck with their investments and have made it to S&P 5,000, I think should be commended, because think about all of the things in the backs of all of our minds we've all had to contend with on the way here. So is it too tech heavy now? Is that the biggest criticism? Okay, I'll accept that. The thing is, market returns have been tech heavy since 2016, when the cloud had its coming out party after Amazon announced that shocking out of nowhere profit that no one was expecting. Ever since then, and think about how long it's been, ever since then, 8 years, we've had a tech-heavy rally the entire way up. The only time it wasn't tech-heavy was when the market fell in 2022. Other than that, that's what has led us from there to where we are right now, which is just shy of 40,000 on the Dow, just shy of 5,000 in the S&P. Hopefully we'll hit that in this hour. And when you think about these milestones along the way, mathematically, they're unimportant, but I think from a sentiment perspective, they are a reminder that most of the time the meteor misses planet Earth.
Do you take any pause in how fast we seemingly have gone here from, the October lows from November 1st until now? It really has been nothing short of extraordinary. The pace and the size of the move, theoretically on expectations that the hiking cycle is now in the rearview mirror and the Fed's going to cut, and that is really all that matters at a time where the economy is held up incredibly well.
I think one of the things that is worth pointing out alongside everything that you just said, and all of those are true things, earnings growth has been explosive for the areas that are getting the most attention from investors. It's not as though investors are playing in a group of stocks that don't have good fundamentals. I was looking at my board just now, looking at CrowdStrike up almost $20 on the day. They didn't report today. There are so many stocks like that in enterprise software, in cyber, in cloud, semiconductors. It's not really just 6 stocks. There are 6 very important stocks, but then there are hundreds of companies with earnings growth, 20, 30, 40%. Those are the stocks that are working right now. It's not some peculiar group of names where we're all laughing and making memes. That was 2 years ago. These are the best earnings growth stories in the market. Are they going up too fast? Perhaps. I wouldn't argue with that. It's getting a little bit extreme. I said that on the show yesterday. But if that's your biggest quibble, that they're going up too fast and not, oh, these are terrible companies, or, oh, earnings are falling apart. If that's your biggest quibble, then do yourself a favor. Take something off. Trim something. That's what I'm doing. Sell your least favorite stock. I did that yesterday. It's okay. You can stick around and not be taking the biggest risk at the party.
Palantir 2433. I think what Josh Brown said is correct. A lot of these companies are actually performing. So even though it feels like it's too quick, too fast, these are real companies that are actually, putting up numbers like Palantir, like an NVIDIA. I guess the question is, at what point does it become overinflated, even if the numbers are real? And I don't know what the answer to that is. I just don't know. Yeah, there we go. S&P 5,000. Yeah, S&P. Where's the S&P right now? S&P 497.73. It's basically been flat the past couple of days, but it's been holding pretty good momentum. QQQ is also at 433. We're green, dude. We're green. It's a green day. Tesla's at 190, ARM's at 121, still up 57%. CleanSpark's at $10. Amazon 170, Meta 469, Palantir 2439 on the day. All right. I think we ended here, guys. I think we ended here, because at this point, it's going to take a lot for Palantir to get past 25. There's going to be a lot of shares for them to get through. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I would love to be proven wrong. But if it can even maintain 24, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, right? So I would stay if I thought we had a legitimate chance of cracking 25, but looking at the book value, 25 is going to be very tough, dude. 25 is not going to be easy. So it's probably going to take some time. If it gets to 25, it gets to 25. That's great. But I don't think we can sit and wait to watch it there, especially we're on lunch hour now, so we're going to see volume die down a little bit for the next 2 hours. So it's probably going to come down. Can we just sit here and watch PayPal go down? Oh my God, dude. It's at 55. It's down almost 12%. It's down almost 12%, dude. Oh boy. What are your thoughts on ARK loading up on Ginkgo Bioworks? I think ARK has no clue what they're doing on some stocks. Ginkgo is one of those stocks where I was very bullish on it. I'm very bullish long-term what Ginkgo can do, but I think ARK got caught with their hand in the cookie jar and now they keep buying it. And it's not that this company can't perform. It's at $1.27. Do I think the company could be at $3 in a couple years? Sure, because they actually have the tech and the moat to sustain it. But there's a lot of insider selling. Their sell program growth isn't going up and up and up. Their biosecurity revenue has gone to absolute shit post-pandemic. This is a company barely doing like $200-300 million in revenue. It's a $2.7 billion market cap. You're betting on this for such long-term potential, and ARK investors don't want long-term. They want 1 to 2 year returns. Ginkgo's a 10-year return. So I don't know why she's buying so much of it, but she's buying it. And that's why we're seeing it right now. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get out of here. Someone asked, is Steve's Twitter in the description? Yes, let me put his Twitter in the description or in the chat. So you can go check it out right here. And my Twitter, I'm gonna put in the chat as well. If you have not followed on Twitter, please make sure that's my main platform that I'm on all day. Please, 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 please make sure that's the one thing I asked to follow on Twitter. And if you haven't made a Twitter, make a Twitter. There's a ton of Palantir updates there. Even if you just use it to read the news on Palantir, this is the place where you want to be when it comes to Palantir coverage. Palantir right now is 24.48. It's trying to break 24.50. 24.50 again is still high resistance. There's a lot of shares. Let me check right now how much are waiting for them. Yeah, about 10-15,000. So it's got to get through that. Then at 24.60 there's 17,000. Then at 24.80 there's 12,000. 24.90 there's about 5,000, and then 25 there's 127,000 shares. So here's the thing: if we break through 25, it will be violent because someone's going to buy up all of those shares and it's just going to come right through. But the odds are that if someone doesn't do that, it's going to be teetering in the 24 range for a while. Maybe a sell-off back to 23, but so far so good in the 24s, the mid 24s, and we'll just see if he can hold it there. Okay. All right. That's it for me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This was fun. This was awesome. And I'll be back for market close at 3:45. So we'll see what happens with Palantir. I'll still be back for market close. So I'm only gone for like 3 hours. We'll be back 3:45. We'll discuss everything going on. Market close to probably 6. We'll be doing CleanSpark earnings today. And so we'll be hearing their numbers and keeping the coverage going on from there. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. It means the world to me. And I will see you guys in a couple of hours. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.